Out a little bit of the old intro. Oh wow, we got some solid echo going on right out of the gate. That's not cool.
Oh man. Only we had a pro here to take care of that stuff.
Wow.
I was just standing up and I was doing like a little jig with that first music. That was
Wow. I am not 100% sure where that happened. Stace, because you're familiar with Twitch, or somebody can check the channel and make sure that we're broadcasting and that we have proper audio going on. And we're going to start. So I'll get one of you guys to check and make sure that it's okay. And I'm going to start the story. Our last adventure ended. Pardon me?
It's a Twitch. The fuck is that?
Okay, never mind. Our last adventure involved the party coming to the swamps. You were chasing a guy that had stolen a bunch of books.
Is it, I'm sorry to interrupt, Gary, but is it Murder Hobo or Murder Hobo Show?
Murder Hobo Show.
Okay.
Should be.
Yeah, it's live.
Okay, there's no echo. The channel sounds good.
I'll just check now. You carry on and I'll check for you.
Okay, so we chased a scroll thief, apparently, this guy that was stealing books, into the swamp. You found him at this old abandoned ruins, talking to a dragon. He was a young dragon, a small dragon. He was easily dispatched. And in the process of doing so, you retrieved all the books, and you basically just decided to let the swamp take care of this guy Ellison, who had stolen the material from the town. So we've left them here. In doing so, though, you did find a small dragon slayer of loot. Now the game messed up, and when the game messes up, I tend not to save. So we only lost maybe, I want to say, the last 5 minutes of the game. But that is an important 5 minutes, because in that 5 minutes, we had dealt out some loot. So I'm not sure who had it, but I'm going to drop some cards on the table and have you guys come down here and see who had what, because the loots, and now I see Stacy's green hand trying to take some cards away, so we're very aware.
No, I'm just alting over it to read
checking it out,
so I don't have to move my screen.
The Twitch is fine, Gary.
Okay, thank you, sir. Now, somebody would have had one of some of these cards. One of you guys would have had the Flaming Sword. I don't know.
Yeah, Flaming Sword was Little Wayne, and he ended up handing it off to Rufus.
Okay, so you can take that. Do any of these other cards seem like a thing that you guys got for loot last time? I'll flip over another Ancient card, because if not, they're just going to go back in the deck.
Nope.
Should also be a Giant's belt for Rufus as well. That'd be what he drew.
Okay. Ring of Giants. Sound familiar?
Yeah, something like that. Something giant.
Okay. You can take that Ring of Giants if you want.
I think that's it. He's done.
Okay. Pete, anything coming up like a thing that you scored last time?
I can't remember. I might have to look on the old YouTubes to see what it was.
Okay, well, I'm not overly worried about it. I tell you what, why don't you choose one of these weapons, or choose one of these?
Okay, in that case, I'll go for the rapid crossbow.
Okay.
Ooh, nice.
Charles? Is Charles here? I'll just wait a second for Charles to come back. Okay, we got some loot. I didn't get a chance to save the game, so we're just going to resolve that right now. Hopefully Charles will show up and he'll be able to pick his stuff up. And then we're going to explain, for Stace's sake, the welcome Wormwood. Wormwood. I don't know what the hell I was thinking.
Wormwood. Thank you.
I'm sorry, buddy. I messed your name up, but that's okay. Just wait.
That's all right, man.
By the end of the game, you're gonna be feeling more sorry for Charles, because I always skip him, who's playing Brudnir. Not only do I skip him, I forget about him. I call him the wrong name. I do so many bad things to Charles.
No, that's okay, Murder Hobo. We're fine. We're fine.
Thank you. The characters in this adventure, starting from in ICRPG, we just do around the table. There's no initiative, which I personally I love. There's no for the game master. There's no screwing around. There's no tracking anything. So the first player we have is Rufus Surf. He is a red plume guard from the town of New Haven, played by Corey Judd. Corey Judd is normally yellow. He plays this character who is a mage named Thazit. In one of our previous adventures 2 sessions ago, Thazit was killed and is currently in the process of being resurrected. The party came up with 1,000 coin to pay the priests of New Haven to resurrect him. So in the meantime, he's playing a guard from the town that is sent out to find this scroll thief, this guy that we're basically leaving in the swamp. Pete came in from the inn. Now, Pete is a traveler, I believe. Pete, you were on your way to New Haven looking for work or something like that. I'm going to let you explain your story because it's not fresh in my memory. I don't have 6 months of you playing with me.
He was looking for fame and fortune, and he met the other guys in the local tavern and tagged along with them, and that's how he's teamed up with them.
Okay, so he's fresh from a place called the Guzzlers, the Guzzling Gator Inn. We have long-term player who is red and not here today because he of COVID. That is Matt Stark playing Claw. Unfortunately, COVID's put him on night shift, so until things clear up, we're sort of recording or streaming for Matt's sake so he can keep up with the story. We have Inorganic Stream, who is I met through the Runehammer forums. He's a fan of ICRPG, and we've become friends since. He's been playing with us since, I think, January. And and playing well, except I treat him horribly for some reason and miss him and skip over him and forget to call him when it's his turn. Yellow is Thazit, who I've explained, and the last person is Daryl, who is also not here today. Daryl was one of the players that started at the very beginning of the adventure back in January, playing a mage who was killed outright and is dead. So this is basically a second character, Darren, who's he's got this Australian accent, and he is an archer. So he's focused on archery, but he's got this cool bow that I kind of think is cheating a little bit. But every time he rolls over a 13, he gets to shoot again. So there's times when he will take out 5 of my creatures in a row just by supreme damage. And then
awesome.
We're going to go with the latest and the greatest, who is Worm Food, not Worm Wood. I met through Dave, the Digital Dungeon Master. I've played with Stace a few times, and you have your own Twitch channel in which you are running a Icons superhero game that is under. Is it under Worm Food?
It's under Worm Food.
Yes.
Twitch.tv/wormfood.
And you make some you have made some very cool face rig icon guys that I'm looking forward to see them actually when they get full on up and running. I got to play the one with the mask and shit last night, which was a lot of fun. Icons was cool, man. I was impressed with that. Okay, that's the general gist of the introductions. We pick up from this point here with Rufus. Rufus, you have collected the goods. You've spoken and had words with Ellis. You've basically told him that he is on his own in the swamp. You're not going to kill him. That's not his fate is not for you to decide. You are going to let the swamp decide his fate. So you have left him tied up in the swamp, and if the swamp wants him to go free, the swamp will see a way, will see fit to letting him leave. So he's tied up by this fire over here, and you, I'm assuming, are trudging your way back to the raft, which is, back over in this corner, over here, past the dead alligators and the were crocodile that we fought that are floating in the swamp. The bugs have settled on them. And you and the group have packed up and are making your way back to the raft. So that's where we're going to pick the story up from. Rufus, you're on the raft with the rest of the guys. You've got the coin. I believe, was it, how much coin did I give you guys for the dragons thing? Rufus?
Yeah, no, I'm checking back here to see if I actually wrote that down. Which
Okay, anybody
was
remember?
real terrible at this.
No, I didn't write it down. No.
Except for Charles, because I know that fucker's going to say 3,000 when I know it was in the hundreds.
No, I don't remember what the gold was. I do remember we were allowed to butcher the dragon so we could bring back the scales and work them into the armor.
Yep.
Yeah, and I took the head.
Okay. So if you guys know that you have that.
Down money. So
what's that?
I have written down money. So I have no idea.
Okay, so I think it was roughly 300. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it was something like that.
It was something like it was split like to like 100 to everybody in the party, something along those lines.
Okay, so then I'm just going to assume that you guys have written it down on your character sheets.
I'm going to agree with Charles. It was 3,000.
Right, I figured that was coming. All right, I got my cards sorted out. I'm going to not reset. I'm going to go to shuffle. I should have just hit R over top of them because I know that's how to shuffle the cards so that the cards that you saw won't be the cards that come up. Rufus, make your way back to the raft in the swamps, leaving Ellison to his demise. Over the course of the next, I want to say it's going to take you guys it took a day to get here, so it's going to take a day to get back. Over the course of the next day, is there a thing that you're doing as you and your crew make your way back to the Guzzling Gator?
Is there anything that we do?
Yeah, like what is Rufus doing over the course of the next day?
Well, seeing how we killed the riverboat guy, I think
who turned out to be a were-crocodile.
He'll steer the boat. He'll row the boat, I guess. But no, biggest thing, get back to the inn and just honestly a hot shower and just clean up this. He's got bits and pieces of dragon and swamp in every bit of them. So
he's got some solid swamp ass. Okay,
yeah,
so
you got some legit swamp ass.
Nice. So you're going to navigate the boat. That's your plan over the next little while. You're steering this thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you going to use your wisdom or perhaps your dexterity or strength to navigate through this murky swamp and try and remember the way back?
He's going to do the pure rowing. So let's go strength on that one.
Okay.
I think that would probably be the best.
Okay. It's generally calm in the swamp area, in the swamplands. I'm going to come over here and unlock the target and change it so that it faces this way. And then I'm going to change the state back down to, let's make it a 12. We're gonna change the scene on the way back to the inn to a 12. So give me a strength check to see if you get some kind of fatigue by the time you make it back to the Guzzling Gator Inn. Oh wow!
Oh yes! Oh
yeah,
100%. Yeah, he is dead. He's just dead weight.
Yep, it is a rough push. You're not used to this. You had the ferryman, the swamp guy, bring you here, and then when he turned into a werecroc, you had to smash and crash his face in, you didn't realize the stamina required to get this raft that you're on back to where it needs to go through the swamp. So by the time you show up at the Guzzling Gator, you're done. You're spent. Roll me a D4. Okay, so your next 3 actions because of fatigue are going to be hard.
Okay.
I'm going to spin my timer dice, which is this dice down here. Hopefully Stace is paying attention to what I'm doing. This big giant red dice is called the Threats, Treats, and Timers dice. It's actually called the Threats and Treats dice, but it's a timer dice. Once we go around 3 times, I'm going to make a thing happen, and that's what this dice does. We are going to go to Pete. Pete, what is your character's name again? Clunge, that's right.
Clunge.
I am writing Clunge on your character's name so that I can remember. Over the course of the next day, you're rafting. You got Rufus pushing. You're contemplating life. You're doing a thing. But it's a solid day of sitting on this raft through the swamp, swatting bugs.
Yeah, he's going to be counting these 3,000 gold.
Oh,
He's going to be.
That's why the boat's so hard to row. It's so heavy.
Right.
Even if he's got 10 gold, he's going to count it that many times because he's never seen so much money in all his life.
okay. I am going to give you, because you just made me laugh for the first laugh of the game, I'm giving you a hero token. I will pull another hero token out, and I will increase it in size, and I'm just going to explain things as they go. See this giant coin, Stace? You can spend this at any time like a Benny. How it works is it doesn't matter what you want to spend, what roll you want to spend it on. You're going to add ultimate to your roll, which is going to allow you to add whatever the roll of a D12 is. And that's how hero tokens work in this game. So you want to shoot somebody with your bow and you come up 5 short. You're feeling like this needs to be a heroic an action to, take the foe out. And you're like, I'm going to spend my hero coin and, supercharge this roll. That's what hero tokens are for. Randomly given out. Actually, I'm going to give you one because you're new here. Here's your hero token. Spend it wisely. And then as the game goes on, when cool shit happens, I'm just going to give you hero tokens so that it works like a Benny economy and helps you achieve your goals in the game, kind of a thing. Okay.
Can I already spend mine on candy?
No, you cannot. But I can bring up a magic Christmas tree or something like that.
No. Okay, I'm good.
Have to have the bad Christmas tree.
Okay, so Cleanse, you're counting your coin, your 100 coin.
Yep.
Your split of the loot. You're pretty happy about this because you know what? You came here for fame and fortune, and holy shit, if you haven't killed a dragon on your first mission. He wasn't a great big dragon, but so yeah, you're feeling kind of good. But this swamp is pretty oppressing. I would like you to make me a Constitution roll to see if maybe the murkiness of the swamp, the dampness, the bugs, maybe they're getting on your nerves. Maybe they're too much for you. But no, they're not.
There it is.
Yeah, these
I'm
coins
stretching a bit, but he's enjoying enjoying life.
Absolutely. All right, that puts us down to worm food. No, wait a second. I did that on purpose. Sorry. Brudnir, what are you doing on the long journey back to the Guzzling Gator? Charles.
Oh, I was ignoring you. Sorry.
Whoa.
I'm gonna actually scout and make sure we're going in the right direction.
Here you go, buddy. This is for all the times I've said or done bad things to you.
Oh,
that's so nice. Yeah.
Right.
I'll keep it and throw it at you in real life.
Keep it close to your heart.
Okay, you're gonna keep watch. That's your game plan. Make sure that you're not jumped, hijacked, beat up on the way.
No crocodilians.
All right, give me a notice check. So in D&D, we would use perception, but in ICRPG, because we don't have skills, you'll notice there's no like thievery or lockpick or any of that kind of stuff. All of those get summed up into the basic 6 stats. This is for Stasis' sake. So perception is a wisdom skill. He's looking around. In D&D, perception falls under the wisdom header. So this roll is going to be a wisdom roll against the target or the scene number. And a success means, wow, a natural 20. Now this is the beauty part of this game, and this is where I kind of suck, Stace, to be honest. Usually in D&D, I would narrate what happens on the 20, but I'm trying to work it into this game where the players narrate what happens, and it's for me it's a constant process. So, Brudnir, you've rolled a perfect 20. You can see anything that you want to see. What is it that you see on the way back? Is the coast clear? Do you see a thing? You can ask me for. You spot a thing that I can make up if you want. What do you see? What happens on the way back?
I would say that as the were-crocodile has been killed, the hierarchy of the crocodiles of the swamp has been disturbed. So they are in combat to see who will be the new crocodile king. So we see constant combat everywhere of crocodiles fighting each other.
Crocodile Royal Rumble.
Wow. That's fucking fantastic, buddy. I'd give you another hero coin, but you can fuck off. How's that sound?
Standard.
Okay. So it is An uneventful journey all the way back to the Guzzling Gator. I am going to clear this table. And I need to find the... Oh, wait a second. I need to go to clear, see all, and scroll through to the Guzzling Gator. Guzzling Gator. Okay, we'll take a second to build the map. As you approach...
I heard you got the thing fixed now. We can walk all through it now, right?
Yes, I did. Yeah, I fixed it.
Okay.
I actually figured out how to work Blender a little bit, and pretty proud of myself. I made a collider that is just the floor, so you can walk. The only weird part is you'll be able to walk like through the walls and stuff like that, but it makes placing your characters where you want them to go much easier.
Nice.
You dock your raft on the shore near the road that takes you down to the Guzzling Gator, which is some ways away, maybe a half mile or so. You guys can put your characters on the map at this end. As you approach the Guzzling Gator, you notice something is afoot. There's 4 horsemen that look like red plume guards that are sort of standing outside of the Guzzling Gator. The Guzzling Gator seems to be, you see like an unusual amount of smoke coming from the inside of this Guzzling Gator. And as you approach, these 4 men that have arrived here, actually, this is where Stace is going to come in. Where's your character? Where's your mini, Stace?
Right here. I just moved them near the fire.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Damn Skippy. And your character's name was...
Modoc.
Modoc.
Mordoc.
Okay. Mordoc. Here we go. Mordoc.
I was born near the docks.
I'm
So
going
just
to
think of it like I
In the
became
moors.
Mordoc.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to put you down here talking to these guards. You are full on aware because now it's sort of your turn. This is where I interact with you. You are, I don't want to say local to this place. You are what you are. Your story is your story. But you have come to the Guzzling Gator for some reason. Rest, reprieve, whatever it is. Only to find that the Guzzling Gator was aflame when you got here. So you're kind of standing outside the front looking at what's going on. Sword drawn. Something is amiss. The people of the inn and the tavern are missing. And as you sort of are investigating this tavern that's aflame, these 4 guards come in. You're kind of aware that they're guards because of their military garb, right? They're wearing matching uniforms. They have these giant plumes over their heads, and they are marching sort of down the road a little bit towards the Guzzling Gator. And you're just assuming that they're coming here for rest and reprieve as well. As they approach, they draw their weapons, and
this is just like all the videos I've been seeing on YouTube about the cops coming in and jacking people up.
and you happen to be it. They draw their weapons
Exactly.
and they scream halt. The head captain approaches, which would be this guy. The other ones stay back, and they're like, "You there? What do you know of this inn that is on fire? Are you the cause of this?"
I just got here. I don't know of any cause.
State your business.
I've just come here to get something to drink and to relax. But this is a little hot for me, so I'll probably just move on.
He kind of relaxes his sword a little bit. He looks at the other ones. He calls over his shoulder. He's like, "This one here isn't smart enough to rub 2 sticks together to make a fire. Oh, so state your name, friend."
My name's Mordoc.
Mordoc. Yes, I see.
Tinklebottom.
One of Tinklebottom. I'm aware of the Tinklebottoms. I would show you a map and name a place, but I'm not that good of a game master. So he says, the Tinklebottoms, and he names a place. You're of those Tinklebottoms?
No.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize they had spread far and few between. Very well. Listen,
Yeah,
Mordoc.
we're like STDs. We spread all over the place.
I'm not sure what that is. STD, surefire. So is that a spell of some kind?
Yeah, it is. It's a curse, more likely.
Mordock, how long have you been here?
I haven't been here but a minute.
Oh, so
I just came over the horizon. I saw some smoke. I saw the inn, and I thought I would stop in and do a little relaxation. And suddenly, when I got here, I see this fire seeming to just consume this cart outside of the inn and really not ever burn it all the way.
Yes, these. I see that whoever owned this card has put some kind of spell upon it. He must have cast some spell upon it that just makes it merely look like it's a flame, but never actually truly burns to the ground. Worthy caught. Maybe.
Well, I'm glad you guys are here because I was just getting ready to go inside to see if I can get some water or something to help put this fire out. I'm incredibly surprised that no one is out here helping to manage this blaze before it gets any worse and maybe burns down the town.
So you have not been inside the inn yet. You actually, literally just showed up at the same time we did.
Yes, and it's pronounced literally.
Whatever. Do not correct me on my speech, fool, or I'll pull your tongue from your throat. Who do you think you're talking to? I am Captain Impediment of the Red Plumes.
Impediment.
I'm Captain John Impediment. Now I'm going to write his name down because usually my crew does. Impediment. There we go. Yes, you could call me John.
John, get your people to help, and let's run inside and see if we can get some water and manage this blaze before it gets any worse.
He leaps off his horse and he's like, "That is a great plan." You haven't been inside the inn to see if maybe
it's much shorter when you're not on your horse, John.
Well, I'm not short. I'm a solid 6 feet tall. He's like, "You're fucking 8 feet tall." What do you mean I'm short? I'm not short.
Sorry.
You're just a giant.
I'm used to hanging out with other hill folk.
Yeah, Jesus. So he's going to take a step up towards the front here, and he's going to look in the front side here. He slowly makes his way into the bar, and he's sort of peeking around. He calls to you over his shoulder, and he's like, "Men, stand guard while we go look inside." You can put yourself anywhere you want. You should be able to move sort of freely in there. All right, so you end up on top of the fucking Guzzling Gator Inn sign. You're having this is awesome.
I guess I've already had too much to drink. I keep falling over.
As you go inside the inn and look around, I'm gonna actually let's see. Wait a second, Mordock. We're gonna put you back outside. We're gonna retcon this half a second. The two of you are like, let's go inside and get some water and throw it on the ground. And as you do so, I'm actually gonna make you get you to give me a charisma roll to sort of persuade Captain John or put him at ease so that he sort of believes your story. Now that's going to be charisma.
6, but then, see, my charisma is 0, so it's just 6.
It's a 9. You're looking at it upside down.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
If you want to know your roll, you can hit enter and it'll show you in your chat what you've rolled. I love this roller because it also shows the color of the dice, which is purple. So like the D20 is purple and the 9. So anyways, that's neither here nor there. I'm just sort of rambling there.
Racist.
It's awesome, dude. Okay, right. So you're just about he's unsure. So he looks at you and he's like, "Water? Perhaps you should go first, Mordock." And he's going to sort of follow you into the inn. But you make it to about here with John, and you feel his sword press into your back. He's like, "Hold still, gigantic man. I am not sure if I believe your story. What is this?" And he looks down the street and sees Rufus the mall cop. The mall cop. Rufus, Brudnir, and Clunge are walking up this street, this alleyway towards this burning barn. That is going to put me around to you. I'm going to, put me around to me. Change my rotation value to 2 because it's my turn. All of these guards, seeing you guys come, immediately dismount and pull out their weapons. Captain John, with his sword into your back, Mordok, says to you, he's like, who are these people? And you can feel the pressure of his blade sort of slip in underneath whatever kind of armor. He's found some sort of weak, unarmored spot on your body. And he's like, who are these people that approach? And he calls down. Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Go ahead. No, he's asking.
I was going to say, I don't recognize them, but I do see that they have a hill folk among them. I'm sure they're just coming to assist with the flame.
Mordok, or Captain John Impediment, looks down at the lot of you and he's like, you there, state your business. And he calls out to you, Rufus, because you're wearing the red plume guard, and he points to you. He's like, you, come closer. And he's pointing at you, Rufus.
Yeah. So what's going on here? We just left this place like a day ago. It was in perfect shape. What did you guys do to this place?
He said,
I
Rufus?
understand you guys are higher ranked, and you all seem to think that you can just do whatever you want. But guys, come on, you can't burn these places down. That's ridiculous.
You're trying to turn the tide. You start speaking, and he looks at you, and he's like, Rufus? Rufus, sir,
Yeah.
is that you?
Yeah, listen, I just went through hell and back here
Good Lord, man.
on a mission from the higher ups, and I come back here for a rest and a bath and a drink, and you guys burnt the damn place down. Listen, you guys got to stop with these bloody shenanigans. This is ridiculous. Where's the owner?
Wait. There's a misunderstanding here. Silence your tongue, fool. I am Captain John Impediment. I outrank you. You're but a simple captain, or less than a captain in rank, I believe. But I see your tongue is as sharp as it ever was. Now listen here. Me and my friends did not start this fire. It was on fire. And he pokes his sword into Mordok's back. He's like, I think this fool did it. Do you know this gigantic stump of a man? Honestly, between me and you, Rufus, and I realize that he's standing right here. I don't think he's smart enough to rub two sticks together to start a fire, but that's, neither here nor there. Candles. Maybe he found flame already and just, I'm not sure what happened here. It appears we have a mystery afoot. We were just about to go put the fire out. Maybe you and your men could join us?
Yeah, I need somewhere to chill for the night. It's been one hell of a night, so...
I don't know if you're going to be able to chill inside a smoky building, but
crew and ask them to. Hey guys, listen, we need to hang out here for the night. Let's put the fire out. Let's help these guys put the fire out. More hands makes less work.
All right, so everybody's in agreement. Just say yay or nay.
Yay.
All right. Charles?
Yay to the first part.
So I'm going to make you guys, actually everybody, make me a D20 to see if you. Now remember, Rufus, you're at a negative on this one. So as a collective group, you guys all storm in and try and put the fire out. Pete, you suffer some smoke inhalation. Roll me a D4, and you're going to be at a disadvantage for this many rounds. I see that Rufus duffed, Charles passed, and Worm, Stace, you're going to make me a roll too. Roll me a D20. All right, so you succeeded. If you failed, you're going to roll me a D4, and that many of your next attempts are going to be hard because you're going to recover from smoke inhalation as you run into this building.
Fantastic. Man, I got 2 timers on the go now. Fuck yeah.
I do have one question that I want to put out to everybody, and that's who was interacting in the last game with Jimmy? Was it mostly Little Wayne?
Yes.
Little Wayne, yeah.
Yes, it was Little Wayne.
Okay, so Mordox makes his way into the building to help put out the fire. You stamp out a few flames here and there. I think I can do this and this. Do I have the inn selected is the question. 0.82. So if I change this to 50.
Oh my God! I really stamped that fire a little hard.
It's a miracle.
I need to find...
Lift but flame.
I need to find the fires that I have set in here, and I don't know if I'll be able to. Choose the fire. Boosh. Out goes one fire.
I feel like I don't know how much I want to stamp out fires if this guy's jamming his sword in my back.
Well, now that
Not really motivational, is it?
right, he's he apologizes.
Yeah, no, okay, I'm good with that then.
We'll stamp out some of the fires over here because they do actually make noise. I got some stuff in the way. Boosh, out goes this fire. As soon as I put the fires out, I will reset the table. All right, fires are officially out. So you guys succeed in putting out the fires.
We saved the beer. That's the main thing.
Yeah, for whatever reason, it had not caught itself on fire yet, and 0.82, everything sort of goes back to normal, except I believe one table. And I'm going to lead this table at a little bit lower rate for the midgets of the group and stuff like that. Murdoch, you head in, start stamping out some fires. You're putting out the fires in the bookcases, and yeah, surprisingly, this place isn't really too bad. The ceiling's covered in soot and smoke. And Rufus, you walk in and you make your way over to this back corner. And as you're sort of stamping out fires over in this general direction, out from behind one of the piles of these kegs in the back comes a familiar face. Fucking shit, I can't access him. Scooch. Let's see if I can move him out now. Come here, little Jimmy. Why is little Jimmy not coming to me?
He's just scared.
Right?
Yeah.
But
he knows your reputation.
I'm clicking on a thing that is not a thing.
Gee,
Damn it,
It's
little
only-
Jimmy.
It's only Eric that runs towards you.
Little Jimmy, you son of a... There we go. I'm going to push little Jimmy out of the back over here. And then I'm going to reset my in once more. 0.82. There we go. I now have access to little Jimmy. He comes running out from behind the tubs of ale, and he clings onto your leg, but does not say anything. You full on recognize him from your previous attempts. He's covered in soot. He's shivering. He's scared, and he's got these, wide-eyed, huge pupils as he grabs onto your leg, and he looks up at you with shaky, chattering teeth and says nothing as he buries his head into the comfort of your leg.
Jamie, what's going on here? Where are your parents at? Where's your father at?
You're going to have to make me a charisma roll to sort of calm him down.
Good luck.
And you're going to do it at difficult,
At hard roll. I know.
Fully
aware.
Fantastic.
The table's still 12, right?
Jimmy says...
Oh no, huge stuff.
Jimmy says nothing. You just sort of pat him on the head a little bit and try and coerce him into a thing. You see this clunge as you make your way into the bar. You as well are full on aware of little Jimmy. You make your way in, you stamp out a couple of fires, and you see little Jimmy run out and wrap himself around Rufus, looking like he needs a few words of comfort.
And
Clunge will say, "Don't worry, Jimmy, I'll save the beer." And he sort of scoop the beer on the table and sort of and swig them down. "I'll keep them safe, Jimmy. Don't you worry about the beer."
Okay, so you're gonna. Are you gonna try and pull out some of the maybe on flame casks and stuff like that? I'm gonna get you to give me grab a strength check to see if you can grab a couple of these things and without dropping them on your way out the door.
No.
Man, I'm sorry, Clunge. You grab two of these casks, you pull them off the top shelf, and they immediately fall on the ground and just break. All of that beer goes everywhere. But on a bright note...
Clunge will sort of drop to the floor and start sort of lapping the spilling beer out.
All right. You managed to put out one of the fires that's over there, though, so that's how that fire goes out. Actually, nobody's putting out the fires on the everlasting cart, and I can still hear fire noise, so I'm going to drop this down.
If I drink enough beer, I'll go whiz on it. This is just how I'm doing.
There, the ever-burning cart is also out. The guards have put it out. Why can I not see which way goes up? 0.82, right about there. Cart on its side. All right, so Clunge runs in, grabs a couple of kegs of beer, drops them on the ground, and then he spends some time lapping up the beer. Brudnir, what are you doing to put out the fires?
I don't hear any fires, so it's probably okay.
It is now. Why you got to be such a jerk? I just put out the... Where are you going here? What are you doing?
I guess I'll go inside and look and see how burnt people are that are upstairs in the rooms.
Okay. So, I'm not going to make you make a roll for this.
Here and put the fire out over here.
That's the cat. That's like the... That's
like the fire. The
All right.
I'll go check on people.
So, give me a wisdom check, perception. You're looking around, trying to find things, looking for stuff.
It's a hot 8.
Okay, well, as you kick all the doors open and, look for little fires and stuff like that, you notice that the people are not here. Slovakia, the barmaid's gone. I don't remember what the actual tavern owner name is, but him and his wife are gone. Jimmy seems to be the only survivor of whatever happened here. Everybody else seems to be gone. Also, too, I do note that the front doors have been kicked off their hinges. And yeah, that's what you see as you're looking around inside. Pretty much nothing. The weird part is that the gear, these suits of armor that are over here, the little weapon shop that he was running on the side of the tavern, all still seems to be sort of intact. Except there's just no people here, except for little Jimmy, who is in a state of, not being able... You guys are like drinking and drunk and stuff, Stace. Wow. So yeah, you find nothing in your search. That puts me around to Murdoch. You're whizzing on fires and drinking beers and having a grand old time putting out this place and whatnot.
I think I'd like to roll perception, and I want to kind of check out what's going on now that the fires are pretty much well managed. I see that little kid, realize he's the only one here. I also see the doors are kicked off their hinges, and maybe there's footprints outside of something that attacked. I don't know yet.
All right.
I'd like to roll a perception and see if I can ascertain what has happened.
Fantastic. Let her rip. You got to roll the D20, beat the target number, which is a 12. You get a solid 16. You make your way out to the front door. You're checking stuff out. You can tell that the front door has what appears to be sort of blunt marks in it. Like you would expect if it was a sharp weapon, you'd see like a sharp axe chop. But really what you're seeing is more like blunt damage. Some blunt force has hit these doors and taken them off their hinges. And as you walk out into the street and start doing your little bit of inspection, you can see that there seems to be some kind of pointed claw, sort of toey claw marks. Not made by humanoid feet, because you're familiar with these parts and the swamp that's nearby. As you're looking at these footprints, you realize that the lizard men must have attacked, accidentally set this place on fire, but gathered up all of the people inside, and you see mixed lizard man footprints with humanoid footprints walking or making their way back into the swamp.
I'll definitely turn around and relay that information to the captain, just pointing to the tracks and, just letting them know something horrible has happened here. Maybe point a little to the distance and say, I think lizard men have come in and pretty much taken everybody prisoner and tried to burn the place down.
Alt print screen. We'll save that shot for later because that's a decent shot. Captain John Impediment looks up at you. He's like, please excuse my previous I don't know what the hell the word is I'm looking for. My previous whatchamacallit. I was, of course I needed to be fully sure that it wasn't you responsible for this, being that you were the only one here. My aggressions, I guess, is the word I should be using. It seems that you, Murdoch, are a rather wise man, as you've pointed out these tracks hidden in and amongst the mud. It appears that the lizard folk...
I'll be honest with you. This isn't the first time I've seen this. I've been walking all up and down these towns trying to ascertain why people are being kidnapped. And it seems like this is one great explanation. It looks like these lizard men have done this before.
Wow. Being that we have just arrived, and he sort of he looks back at this man and he suddenly realizes why he's here. Because, with the fire and stuff, he sort of put everything on hold. He's like, yes, we have just arrived. We've been sent from the town of New Haven to retrieve some books that Rufus and his party were sent into the swamp to collect. That reminds me. So you've heard of other farms and villages along the way that have been raided by lizard men as well?
I have, and I've been tracking them for quite a while, but I never knew it was this many. There's going to be no way I can handle this many lizards.
Well,
maybe you and your soldiers will be able to accompany me.
Nope.
Let me follow these tracks to see if we could maybe do something about it.
I'm afraid, my good man Mordok, that you'll be on your own. Walmsley has sent us in a most urgent manner to collect a book that he deems most valuable. I will be retrieving it and returning at once to New Haven with word. Perhaps you and your friends here can investigate further.
I've never met these guys before.
I
don't know if my friends or not.
Well, I see. Well, maybe you could persuade them to, head back into the swamp and perhaps, with some luck and some chance, rescue the inn's owners. That poor boy there.
Good idea.
That poor boy. But damn this impediment. That poor boy in the back. He's going to need somebody to raise him, and judging by the looks of you, the life of an adventurer is no home for a young lad. I tell you what,
take that boy with you. You can get a good price for somebody his age.
He just kind of looks at you and is not quite sure what to say at this point. Slavery it is.
I jest.
Is that what you're suggesting? You knave? You fiend? Poor boy.
No, I believe you should maybe see if the boy has relatives around these parts that haven't been.
I tell you what, Mordok, he reaches into his pocket and pulls out a pen and paper. He's got some kind of like quill and whatnot and a piece of parchment. And he writes you a note for 50 coin, and he hands it to you, and he says, when you come back, see my Lord Walmsley. If you come back, make your way back to New Haven, bring word of the rescue of the tavern's proprietors. And he stops for yes, you know what I'm talking about. If you could find the people that run this inn and rescue them from whatever villainous activities have been bestowed upon them, when you return to New Haven, seek out Lord Charles Walmsley. He's not hard to find. These fools that are inside know him. Yes, you can redeem this script in front of you. I'm sure you can't read, for 50 coins for your services. Does that sound like a fair price?
Huzzah! Thank you so much. I thank you for this. I'll take the note, fold it up, and put it into my pack.
Okay. You do that, and you're sitting there staring at the tracks as he sort of just comes inside, stands in the open doorways, and he addresses the party. He's like, which one of you fools has the book that Charles Walmsley is looking for? And he sort of points to the three of you. Did you retrieve it from the swamps, from that foul beast that has taken it from his possession? So he looks at you, Rufus, because you are a knight or a red plume guard, and he's like, Rufus, what word have you from the swamp?
We barely made it out of the swamp alive. In fact, we're glad you guys came, reinforcements came, because this is a job that we just cannot, we were unable to fell this foul beast and retrieve the book. I'm glad the reinforcements are here. I think honestly, you've got more more experience than I do, I think I'm just going to take the lead on bringing this child to safety and looking for his parents.
So you were unable to retrieve the book that Mr. Walmsley, Lord Walmsley, had sent you for?
We were actually on our way back for a quick rest and actually to come in for reinforcements from the rest of the guard. Again, this was a job that was just way too big for us.
And
So we're actually glad you're here. Your experience is here to kind of take over for us, to tag in, if you will.
So what do you mean it was a job too big? How could you not simply catch one man? Come on.
Well, there's a little bit more than one man. We came across. There was there was a dragon in there. Which,
What?
I mean, we barely made it out alive. There was
wait. What
there
say
was
you?
a creature,
A dragon?
creature, half man, half crocodile.
He calls out
We
to
were
his boys.
swarmed by swamp creatures.
He's like, come and listen to this man weave this tale. Rufus, surely you jest. A man crocodile, a dragon. Pshaw, I say. And he
again, we failed to my inexperience, gentlemen. I'm glad you're here that you can take this on, but no, this was too big of a job for me and my companions.
So John looks back to his men over his shoulder. He's like, do you hear this nonsense this man speaks? He speaks of dragons and were-crocodiles. Was unable to simply rescue a book from a normal man? Like, what treachery and foolishness is this? My lord. So, and his men are, you can see that his men are possibly like visibly shaken at the words of a dragon. This dragon, now did you defeat him? Or did you just simply run away?
No, we barely made it out alive. We tried. We put forth a valiant effort, but we were just unable to fell the beast.
Make me a charisma check. You're going to try and perform persuade.
I know.
He's having a real hard time with your story.
No, that's a big duff.
I'm
at a negative too. So
yeah, what you don't have that I'm going to pop on there. You should have one. Everybody's got hero tokens, at least one.
I do, yeah.
Okay, good stuff.
Hold on here. What was that roll? So we're at a 12. I need to beat a 15. That's a 10. Oh well, let's spend it. Fuck it.
Okay, I figured I should give you one just in case. And this is how a hero token is used. So that 10 becomes a 19.
Oh, nice.
That does it.
On a hard roll, that becomes 3 less. You see on the Stace, you see on the target here, it explains easy and hard, right? It's really straightforward. +3, -3. He rolled a 19. He has to make a hard roll because he's fatigued, smoke inhalation, the swamp, etc., etc. So his 19 becomes a 16, which still beats the target number, which is a 12. So he's now succeeded by using his hero token. All right, so I guess little Jimmy, you can feel his small hands clawing into the back of your leg a little bit. He applies the pressure as you sort of tell the story of the dragon and the lizard men, but those tiny little fingers digging into your leg inspire you to become more boisterous, I guess, with your story. And there comes a point at which you can see the look on his face sort of turn from a look of disbelief to that of actually sort of believing what it is that you say. John says he says to his men, he's like, oh, well, if there's a dragon in the swamp, men, then it appears that our course has been set. Stand up, John, you frickin' drunk. It appears that we are to head back to New Haven, spread word of this foul dragon, gather a small army, and then come back and destroy this slain beast, or this foul beast of the swamp. We cannot have a dragon setting roots so close to the town of New Haven. And then John's like, he falls over like a drunk loser. I'm just going to leave him there. But he's like, we'll rest for the night, water the horses, men, get them fed. And yes, we'll stay here for the night. And at first light, we shall set forth back to New Haven. We'll inform Lord Walmsley of the failure of retrieving the book and gather some men. And so that's what he's going to do. I'm going to put these guys back over here. They go take care of the horses, water them, do their business, etc., etc. So now, you guys are all fully aware that the tavern's keepers have been taken by some kind of lizard man. They've come in. You start looking around the inn and you realize that there's telltale signs of a battle that ensued. You find a bit of blood splatter in some certain spots and whatnot as you're sort of searching throughout the rest of the place. It is, again, rather weird that nothing has been taken as far as like loot goes, but you do notice that whatever livestock was here, that there might have been some pigs or some cows that they have in a little field in the or farm around the outside. They've gone missing. Little Jimmy is a little too distraught over what happened. You remember him being a skittish boy anyway. He in the last event, you recall how quick he moves, and he did mention the lizard man and shit like that. As the night proceeds or progresses along, and you guys are all sort of sitting around listening to the crackle of the fire, enjoying some ale and relaxing. You can hear in the distance the thrumming of drums, and little Jimmy is the one that brings it to your attention, Rufus. He sort of jumps up on your lap, and he's kind of giving you a bit of a hug, and you can feel his leg kicking you. And every time his leg kicks you, you hear this brum, 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 and it's like all of a sudden you're like, oh yeah, there is that sort of weird lizard manish kind of sound, or that tribal drum beat coming from the swamps. And over the course of the night, you guys are all going to get some rest. I'm not going to remove any of your fatigue levels. You can all suck it. But the next morning comes, and Jimmy he's bustling around the kitchen. He builds you guys some breakfasts, and everybody has a nice meal. He seems to have regained some composure, and he's feeling a little bit better. The guards have taken the doors that are in the front, and they've sort of, put them back up in sort of a makeshift little block in the entryway kind of a thing. You eat a meal, and Jimmy says to you, Rufus, he's like, Are you going to go into the swamp and rescue my parents from the foul lizard beast men that have taken them away? Mr. Rufus is your name, isn't it, sir?
Yes. By order of the Red Plume, we're tasked to protect all innocent folks. So yes, we will be going into trudging through the swamp again.
All right, he jumps on you and gives you.
We'll search for your parents and bring them back.
All right, so he jumps on top of you and gives you this great big hug. He's like, "Oh, thank you, sir. I don't want to be an orphan. I don't leave the house as it is. When they came, they came.
It's not a bad thing. There's a great orphanage back in New Haven. They take care of the kids. You guys get hot meals every day. Kids your age to play with.
Maybe I could go back to New Haven with the guards while you go into the swamp and look for my parents, and then maybe you could send word to the New Haven and when my parents are back, and then I could come back here and live with my parents again.
Sure. Yes. Go back with the other guards. They'll be able to take care of you. They'll be able to protect you while we're off searching for your parents.
Do you promise,
Winking
Mister?
at everybody.
What's that, Stace?
Is he winking at everybody when he say that? Sure.
Yeah.
He looks at you. He's like, "Do you promise, Mister?"
Just Rufus is just beat right now. He's like, "Oh, all right."
He's tugging on your cape. "Do you promise, Mister? Mister, do you promise everything will be all right?"
Yes. Well, we promise to do our best.
Okay, so little Jimmy zips off into the back room. He gathers up a few things, and he comes out with a long stick with like this little hanker, a little hobo's pack put on the back of it. And he walks over to the guards who are now getting ready to leave. They've eaten breakfast, left their plates and dishes on the table and stuff like that. And he's like, "Captain John, Rufus says that I should probably go back to New Haven with you." And Captain John looks over at you. He's like, "Rufus, you son of a bitch. You soft-hearted son of a bitch, you." He doesn't say that out loud, but he does give you that look.
He knows the look.
Yeah, he pats the kid on the head. He's like, "Yeah, sure thing. What did you say?" What? He looks over at you, Rufus. He's like, "What's this kid's name?"
Oh, it's Jimmy. His name is Jimmy. He's a good kid. Makes a hell of a breakfast.
Okay, so the 4 guards hop on their horseback and they take little Jimmy and they disappear down the road, leaving you guys alone in the confines of the guzzling gator. So, I'm going to put me over to Pete. What is Clunge doing after breakfast? You guys have to sort of have made a promise to little Jimmy to go investigate the swamp.
Yeah, I think Clunge is going to have a look in the back, sort of where the on the back right, where was it the armory or the other stuff was. So you can have a look around there since there's nobody around now for them to stop us.
All right. So you're going to go take a peek through that, look at some things, see if you can identify some stuff. Make me a perception check as you're looking through the loots to see what you can find.
Oh, yes.
Wow. All right. Pete is purple. I'm going to deal this top card to purple. As you're sort of looking through these pile of whatchamacallits, these weapons and different things, you find in one of the scrolls something that actually looks like that it will come in handy for you at some point. Now, you pull this scroll off, you spread it apart, you read the incantations on it, and you're like, at one point, I could probably at some point use this. So yeah, you find that in and amongst the lookings. Charles, what is Brudnir doing?
Nice.
He's searching in the chimney for secret passages because that's always where they are.
Okay.
No, I'm going to go upstairs and look through the rooms and see if there's any clues.
Okay. Roll some perception.
I find a door.
You find
a doorknob.
A door. You find a door. You find some handles, some different things. Besides the obvious footprints that you might have missed them before, but you do see there's lizardmen footprints along the doors upstairs. You're starting to notice the signs of the not smashed in doors, but dented doors where one of these dummies would have clubbed the door before it sort of just swung open on its own. These doors don't have locks or any of that kind of stuff on them, right? They would just push open. And then, besides the usual scramblings and whatnot, you don't really find anything out of the ordinary other than everything seems to be in these rooms. Like these people that have left, obviously, have left all their shit behind. The servants' quarters and stuff like that. You go into Slovakia's room, whatever her name was. And you maybe lay down in her bed. She's got some perfumes and some powders and stuff. Her room smells nice compared to the smoky flavors of the rest of the room. But you don't find anything upstairs. You're just kind of looking around, and I think that you end up probably just looking in her underwear drawer, and that's about all you find because you're sort of just a weird dude like that. No?
I know who I am.
Worm food, Stace. Your character's name, Mordock. Mordock, I would like you to roll me a D4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you rolled a 3. I'm going to deal you. You are green. Roll me a D4 again. I forgot to do this right out of the gate, so I'm going to do it now. 2. Wow.
Thank you. I just had to click the button. It was very easy.
One more time. 3 is not okay. There we go. Deal to green. So these are also starting gears. They're kind of like advancements that you found along the way. You'll see that 2 of them are cursed items, but you're not the smartest guy in the whatchamacallit. But yeah, these are yours. So you got to pull these out of here, just drop them down in your character sheet somewhere. Oh, do you know that this is a PDF in-game? You can click left or right to switch it up. But you are also going to follow the spell burn, which is down here. Anytime you cast a spell, you have to switch this D4 down a notch. When it gets to from 4 to 1, you should be able to right-click on it and change the rotation value. When it gets to a 1, you have to make a wisdom check against the scene of the whatever it is you're doing, and if you succeed, you just reset it to 4 and start casting again. There is no spell slots, there is no mana points, no power points, no nothing. That's the only mechanic that affects you rolling. Those are 3 items that you previously had.
And if I don't make it, what happens? Does it remain?
You roll it again, and that many rounds you can't cast magic. So then you would just go into your fighting mode, right? Swinging your axe and shit like that.
Okay.
Breakfast is finished. You might be maybe a little antsy to get going down the road back into the swamps. What is it that you're doing after breakfast before we set sail into the swamps? At the request of Rufus, who now feels obligated by little Jimmy.
Yes. Well, let me ask you this: is these tracks, like, do these look fresher? Because we quite literally just made these exact same tracks before we went into the swamp.
No, these look fresh. Yes,
They are fresher. Okay.
fresh and new.
And in looking at these tracks, I just thought I'd tell you, this one lizard man is left-handed. You can tell by the way his toe
not the left-handed
curls to the
lizard man.
right.
Oh, that's awesome to have a hero
Now we
coin.
gotta go after now we gotta chase after the flying purple people eater next too.
Yeah, I have some bad news for you. Lizard men usually eat their captives. So somebody should probably have told little Jimmy that his parents aren't coming back.
I said we would do our best.
Well,
We never said alive though. We just said we'd bring them back, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well,
Even if
He
Hardy
can come back in a
even
sack of goo.
even if it's a bag of goo, okay.
Yeah.
That'll go right. Here's your parents, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Promise
Congrats.
fulfilled. Listen,
It's
from a
most of
certain
them
point
anyway.
view.
Quest achievement unlocked. There you go.
Okay, so what are you doing after breakfast? You've got maybe an hour or so, Mordock, to sort of look around.
I think for me, I would have, after breakfast, I would have probably kicked back on one of those benches in front of the fire with some straw in my mouth and just chewing it, waiting to bide my time for those people kind of overhearing their conversation for the group and biding my time to kind of inject a little information in there like, oh, you guys have been to the swamp before? Trying to glean some information to just kind of ingratiate myself into the group, because ultimately I want to convince them to accompany me into the swamp so I can kind of, fulfill my task of looking for some missing people.
Okay, so to be clear, your task is sort of the group's task. He's paying you coin not only to you but to the entire group to go in, and Rufus is said to Jimmy that he's going to do it as well. So it's kind of like a group thing. You're all going to get paid.
Well, if it's a group thing, then why do I have the note?
So he didn't write notes for everybody. He only had one piece of parchment.
No
But here's what I'm going to do. So you're ingratiating yourself into this group. You're being friendly. You're making comments. You realize that the 4 of you guys are going to have to work together, to overcome whatever in the swamp. So you're relaxing and making idle banter at the same time. I'm going to give you the option to either roll me a d20. Just hang tight a second here. So for the relaxing part of what you're doing, and if you succeed, you will get a bonus to your next D4 rolls, because you're just kind of hanging out, you're chilling, you're taking a moment, you're calm, you're cool, you're collected. If you make a Constitution check, you will have D4 rounds of easy attempts as you're hanging out. Or I will let you remove one of the other party's sort of tension or stress. So you can take away their negatives, or you can add bonuses to yourself.
I think I would prefer to take away their negatives, to attempt to take away their negatives.
Okay.
That's
So
how I roll, adding a little levity to the...
Right. Yeah, so that's me speaking from a mechanical perspective, but that's generally what you're doing. You're like, hey, pal, it's going to be all right. I see that you're still coughing from the fire last night, and you're doing those kinds of things. So make me a Constitution check, and let's see how well you do. an 11, and you have no bonus to Constitution. So that's going to be a complete duff. Unless
I want to use my thing. Do I use it? Should I say I'm going to use my Benny before, or do I'm going to say I'm going to use my Benny
after? Yeah, at any time. You make the roll first, and the hero token is used to add to that roll.
Because I want to ingratiate myself into this group, obviously I want to be as successful as I can. So I want to go ahead and cash in my Benny.
Okay, so the hero token will allow you... Yeah, the hero token allows you to roll ultimate, which is a d12, and add that to your total. Your total currently is 11, and you need to beat a 12. So you're going to succeed no matter what. So it's almost really kind of pointless rolling, but you can roll if you want to.
No, that's okay. I'll just succeed.
Yeah, you just needed the 1 point, which is why there's really no point in rolling. Okay, so yeah. Rufus, how badly fatigued and beat up are you? You're at like 5 rounds, right?
I'm down. Yeah, I had like 5 rounds. I'm down to 2.
Okay, can anybody
I
else?
have the ability to heal. Maybe is that something I can only do in combat, or should I just do like a healing touch now that he's an ally?
Well, you do have access to these spells. If there's something in here that you want to try maybe casting on him, that is kind of a list to go through.
I feel like if I tried to do a healing touch on this, Rufus seemed to be the leader of this group as I was kind of overhearing and kind of ascertaining what's going on.
He's just a designated dumbass.
Yeah.
Oh, he's the resident dumbass. Is he the hill? No, he's not the hill folk. Okay, got it.
Rufus is the mole. Yeah, he's the Red Plume Guard from New Haven.
Okay. So he is a Red Plume Guard. I think probably the smart move for me is I'd love to just try to do what I can now that we're kind of buddies. I'll be like, hey, can I let me try to help you with some of those burns. And I think I'd like to try to do a healing touch.
All right, there you go. Lamb basin with the healing touch. So let's just simply roll a d20 and add your wisdom to it. And if you succeed, Rufus is going to have his deal removed. So 14 plus 5 is your wisdom? Yep, that's a 19.
That is correct.
All right, Rufus, yeah. So I'm going to let Mordock, again, see, this is what I'm talking about. My natural instinct is to explain what happens. But in ICRPG, the gist is to let you explain what happened. So yeah, right. You succeed. You make Rufus feel better, and I'm going to let you explain how that happens.
Yeah, so I asked Rufus, hey, let me just grab his arm, and I'll say, let me see if I can help that. And I close my eyes and say a little prayer under my breath. And this cooling blue energy flows out from my hand and just encompasses his whole arm and kind of up to his shoulder. And it makes the hair on his arms rise up a little bit and just starts repairing the damage. And after a few seconds, I let him go and I say, there, that should help you. That should be a little bit better.
All right, Rufus. Yeah, Rufus, you feel better. You can remove any negatives that you had on your deal.
So those hard rolls are gone then.
Yep. Yeah, you're right back to scratch. You're right back to normal.
And now I flip the D4 down 1?
Down 1, yes, you do. Knots are down 1. I believe you can do that. You should be able to right-click on it, and then there should be a thing called...
Yeah.
Yep, there you go. Bingo, bango. This hero coin, I already deleted your hero coin, so that one is still an extra one that you have there.
Oh, I didn't know it was an extra. I had moved that out. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, let's go Control A and delete that off your character sheet. Okay, so comes around to me. I'm going to switch my rotation value to 1. When it comes around to me next turn and lands on the 1 is when a thing will happen. So you guys spend the morning grabbing some grub, filling up your sacks, resupplying. You have some jovial conversation. Mordock has made Rufus feel a hell of a lot better. And the 4 of you are now going to make your way back down the trail, down this road, following these tracks and seeing if you cannot make your way or find out where these Lizard King have taken these captives on some kind of rescue mission as you follow the drums into the marsh.
Obviously, while we're walking, it might be a good idea for me to talk to these guys and have them tell me a little bit of their experience with these lizardmen, if they've had any, so we kind of know what we're going in.
Well, that's cool. So ICRPG this is another cool part about it. What happens in ICRPG is there's sort of 3 time zones. We're doing mere moments, which is what just happened. This is all happening within like seconds of each other. Or what actually, to sort of re-explain that, the mere moments are like combat. What we were just doing was like over hours, and then there's days. So over the hours, you were hanging out here for a couple hours. You guys were talking. You were having breakfast. You were cleaning up. You got rid of the guards. That all happened over the course of hours, right? When we go into combat, it'll be what's called mere moments, and then we do have things like days. So if you hit a town and you're going to spend a week in this town just kind of hanging out and relaxing, then you would explain what happens, right? So time is very simple in this game. So because you've just made that statement and you want these guys to have a conversation with you about their experiences and whatnot, this is what we're going to do. So we're going to start with Rufus. You're walking down the road, Rufus. You're having some conversation. Mordock he's not really pressuring you, but he's just having general conversation with us. Imagine, Rufus, that this is like a, what do you call it in Savage Worlds, where you sort of...
Dramatic task.
An interlude that's the word I'm
interlude,
looking for.
That's it. Yeah. Sorry.
So just imagine this is an interlude. You spend an hour following these tracks before you recognize that the tracks sort of go into the swamp, down an embankment, and into the murky waters. Right about where you guys parked your raft.
So I'm not going to reveal the whole book part of it, but just kind of explain that. Yeah, we were on the search of. We were on the search of a criminal, and we came across this inn. We stayed at this inn, and we met the folks here. They were fine folks, and there was actually a raid in the middle of the night that we thwarted with the lizard men. So I mean, clearly they've got an encampment, or they've got a hive somewhere that needs to be rooted out. I mean, I can only thank you for your assistance here, because I mean, you healed me up, so that's fantastic, and. We really
why
use as much help as possible.
Why are
we really don't know. Unfortunately, they didn't quite make it through to be interrogated. Yeah, they were kind of dispatched relatively quickly, and we never had the chance to interrogate any of them. And then honestly, we were on a mission to find this, to apprehend this squirrel thief. So it was just an encounter for us, man. We just dispatched them, and we called it a day and moved on with our business. And unfortunately, clearly, that was probably an ill got moment for us. I think we maybe should have stuck around and checked out the safety of these folks before we trekked off and did our jobs.
Yeah, I feel like lizardmen wouldn't be randomly coming up to an inn week after week and raiding it unless they have a reason.
Well, we didn't really think that far ahead. They were going after cattle. They were going after like supplies and that. So I mean, as far as we knew, it was just a raid. We didn't think too far. Again, we didn't think too much into it because we had our own objectives to complete.
Fantastic. Make me a charisma check, Rufus. You guys are just casually walking down, so I'm gonna change the scene number back down to a 10 for this one. Target's 10. I do want to say, Stace, that's a success. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to give you a hero coin for that. You got a nice, interesting conversation.
Oh, sweet! I'm going to put 2 of these together to make a full circle.
Well, I'm not giving you one yet. That was a coin for Rufus. Stace.
But the beauty part is, Stace, we can actually give hero coins to somebody else. So
yes.
You might get that full circle down the road.
Yes, it'll just be like Captain Planet.
The Murder Hobo Show audio in the channel is now pumping out sort of swampland sounds. The nice part about the way that I've got my audio set up is you can right-click on the Murder Hobo Show audio guy, and you can adjust his volume so that if you don't want to hear the overwhelming sounds of the swamp, you can adjust how much you hear, so it's not like, You know what I mean? Overwhelming is essentially what it said. Just you know how it works, right? Right click on him and adjust the user volume so you can set your preference to the sounds that you hear. So things like weird bug, or maybe there's an excessive amount of flies buzzing around your head. Okay, so you and Rufus have a pretty nice conversation. You know, he's explained. I'll wait for the flies that I just cast. There seems to be an extra amount of flies along this stretch of the path. That's going to put me over to Pete. Pete, worm food. Mordock starts idly chatting with you, looking for information. You're gonna do the same thing. Give me a little bit of an interlude here. Hopefully these stupid flies will go away. Actually, I'm going to make them go away because I'm going to hit stop. That was a little loud. So
bad if there's that many flies.
Right, somebody farted, man.
No flies on Gary.
Wow. Okay, Pete, give me your interlude. You and Mordock are having a nice little chat down this stretch of the road.
Yeah, so I met these guys in the inn, and we went up to the swamp, and there was this like drunk dude who kept calling me the wrong name and getting on my nerves a bit. But he seemed harmless enough. Well, strike me down with a feather if he wasn't the bad guy all along. Crafty little bugger.
That was funny.
But he thought he'd get us by springing a surprise with this dragon. That was no match for us. We dealt with that dragon. You should have seen us. We were heroic.
So
is he telling the truth on how heroic he was? I want to know if he's filling me full of BS about.
Here's the thing.
Really.
Make me make me a wisdom, which is going to be perception. Make me a wisdom perception check, and I will fill you in on something if you succeed. Which you should.
It's this +5.
Yeah. Okay. So as soon as he tells you that the dragon was dispatched, you realize that Rufus had told the other guards that the dragon was not killed, that it's in there. Right. So there's now this weird inconsistency in the story that you've sort of picked up on. I'm gonna
put a check mark in my mind on this guy.
Right?
Not be honest. Got it.
That's going to put us around to Brudnir. Brudnir, what's your interlude? You're going to have a little chat with Mordock. He seems to be friendly and jovial. He's coming up. He's like, asking you what your story is.
My story?
Yes. Who is the mighty Brudnir? Tell me of your tales.
Am I talking about myself or what's happened? Because Pete pretty much wrapped up the tale.
Whatever you feel like, any kind of just explain to me what your conversation would be with Mordock. He's come up and he's like, he says to you, what's your story?
It's my story. I'm just over here. Twombly told me to come over and get a book, and I ended up with Rufus, and we're in the swamp. We deal with people who don't know what they're doing.
Well, what's this book all about? I know that the guard that was here earlier was very, very adamant that he get this book back to somebody in the city. Well, what's this book contain? Why is it so important to him or you?
I don't look into people's motivations. I just get told to do things and I do them.
Brudnir is so fucking flat. He's like, I don't know. I just do shit that people tell me to do. I don't really.
I'm here to make money. This lizard man thing's a side trip. Apparently, we're just doing it because Rufus wants to do it.
Pete, did you make me a roll? No, you did not. Make me a charisma roll. On a success, I'm going to give you a hero token for your interlude.
Of course not.
See it? It's almost on your character sheet, and it's not.
Everything.
There was something about your story, Pete. Basically, let's outline it like this: the dragon thing set Mordock off a little bit. That one little, you've said that it's dispatched. Rufus said that it's not. That set him back, and that's going to be sort of like the chink in the armor kind of thing that makes Mordock go, and you not get your coin as far as your roll goes, okay? Brudnir, you're having like a really lame-ass conversation. You're not really giving out any information. You're not telling anything to Wormfood. You're being honest and stuff like that too, but because you're sort of, I don't want to say introverted, but not really forthcoming, this is going to be a hard check for you, a hard charisma check for you to earn your hero coin.
Yeah, I feel like I'm carrying the conversation, to be honest.
And
I'm good.
nothing for you, mister.
I'll throw a hero coin to earn that hero coin.
Okay, let's do it. That's going to put me around to Wormfood. So you've done a fantastic job. I'm going to make you make me a charisma roll to see. This is sort of your ingratiation with the group too. If you succeed, I'm going to give you another hero coin. An 11, that's a success. There you go. All right, so you guys are having nice jovial conversations as you make your way down the trail. You're following the lizard tracks towards the swamp. You come off the beaten path. You see there's a bunch of tracks and a mixture of human and lizard foot claw marks that make their way back into the swamp. Fortunately, this is very close to where you guys had left your raft, and it doesn't take much to backpedal, pick up your raft, and eventually, oh, son of a gun. I forgot that I didn't.
Can I interrupt for a second?
Sure.
I mean, we've been following these tracks. Did we ever ascertain how many lizard men are we, can we figure out how many we're actually following? I mean, I don't want to walk into an army of 25,000 lizard men, but,
Okay. Make me a wisdom perception check. You can do that as well. 19
plus 5.
So you figure that this is some kind of raiding party, and from what you can tell along certain parts of the track, you can tell that there's probably at least 10 between. Yeah, I would say there's about 10 different guys.
Okay. I feel like as I'm walking along, I would be pointing that out with the tracks, kind of like, hey, according to the way that this indentation is and this, and I'm just kind of like, just kind of illustrating to everybody my knowledge on how to track lizardmen, and let them know we're tracking an awful lot of lizardmen for the 4 of us.
Look,
All right.
look, pal, you're new around here. We defeated a dragon, fought a few crocodiles, a few lizardmen. No problem at all, man.
All right, no problem. Where I'm from, the lizardmen actually have a little bit of fight in them, and I don't think I've ever heard of a crocodile that is a were crocodile like you were talking about to the guard.
Just you wait. You're going to have your ass bit like we did.
Okay, I'm looking forward to it. I'm always up for a battle. Huzzah!
Okay, I'm going to load the map. There we go. I see that everybody's at 95%, so there's just going to be a little bit of a pause here, and let's see. Where is my party? My party I put off to the side. I'm going to pick you guys up. Actually, I got to set you guys down here. And one at a time, I need... Oh, wouldn't you know it? I put you right into the frickin' red square. How about I put you in the middle of the map here? Like so. F8. 111. Resize everybody so that you are according to the swamp. I'll make some of you a little bigger than others. And last but not least is Rufus. Okay, so you guys retrieve your little swamp buggy that you are also familiar with.
I feel so small.
There's Mordock. You can position yourself on top of the raft wherever you like. Rufus maybe is at the back pushing with the pole because he's just sort of that kind of guy. He's had some solid experience. And you start making your way into the swamp.
Can I get a dog too? Because we're going back in the swamps, I wanted to.
Oh, look,
Surprise.
everybody falls
Oh,
off.
no.
Sweet mother of God, help! I can't swim.
Who's steering this damn thing?
Yeah. All of Rufus's experience on a raft. Yeah.
That's right.
Oh,
Oh,
All right, what's going on here? Damn it.
Deliverance episode.
I'm going to lock. Okay, I've locked the boat. Everybody put yourselves on the boat. We seem to be having some issues going on here with drunk fools moving stuff. Get on the boat, Clunge. There you go. All right, everybody's
you leave my clunge alone.
everybody's on the boat. Rufus is near the back of the boat. I'm going to unlock the boat. Do not pick your characters up. And we are going to proceed into the swamp. Skaboosh. All right, so I'm going to kick in my Swampy Land sound effects. You're going to hear the Murder Hobo Show audio guy pick it up a notch here. Actually, I don't have to do that because we've already got swampy sound effects on this bad boy. It is 8:56. We're going to reconvene at 9 o'clock. I'm going to run upstairs, make some more coffee, and I'll be back. We'll take 5.
Yep. Be back, boys.
Great.
All right, gentlemen's. Hit no cam, and I'm going to go back. Oh, there we go. Voice meter's already popping up, and we're already ready to rock it out. Welcome back from the break. That was a little bit extended, but we've been back for a few minutes looking at some cool new features that I was really unaware of. Yeah, the notes section.
You've got to watch some videos on YouTube, Gary, how to use this TTS. Really.
I know, right? Man, you would think.
There's only a guy.
Right? Like, unfortunately.
You know, it's easier if you use your mouse too, Hobo. I know you're just using keyboard shortcuts and scrolling around, but maybe you can use your mouth.
Simmer down, mister. Simmer down.
The peasants are revolting.
All right, Stace, the threats, treats, and timers dice, which is this gigantic dice down in the corner. Because it's my turn, we've gone around, it's at a 1. I'm going to roll this dice again, and it has landed on a 4. Somehow it has changed its rotation value. It was at a 4. Maybe I need to lock this in place so you dickheads don't mess with it. Remember what happened last time you guys started screwing with my stuff? I started imposing some serious hardcore penalties, Brudnir. That said, because it's my turn and it's on a 1, I have the option as the GM, the game master, to either make a threat or give you guys a treat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say that you guys hop on this raft. You've just come from the swamps. You know, you're not looking to go back into the swamps. Mordock, because you're fresh to the scene, I'm going to make this check easy for you because you haven't been here. But it's regular for everybody else. Unless you have the roll hard modifier because of a bad thing that happened previously, which we've just removed from Rufus. The oppression of the swamps, the weight of the air, the thickness of that sort of bog stench is affecting you guys mentally in such a way that I would like everybody to roll me a Constitution check. If you succeed on your Constitution check, you're not going to be affected by the the swamp in itself. Am I going to do this right? I want to make this a bonus. I don't want to make this a negative. So if you succeed in your check, your next attempt will be easy. So there's 2 14s, which makes it organic. Inorganic streams like, nope, I'm not having any of the swamp. And you're going to make a regular check. Now, do you have any Constitution bonus that's going to help you?
No Constitution bonus for me, sadly.
Okay.
Unless I just lie to you.
So
I've got a +10.
So Rufus and Clunge are they're happy. They're content to go back into the swamp. No bubbles, no troubles. Brudnir, not so much. And Mordock, he's like, yeah, he's whatever. He doesn't care either. So you two guys are going to get a bonus for coming back in here. We're going to pick up the story with Rufus. Rufus, you are pushing this boat, this slung together makeshift deal. This is Zovia's boat too. I don't know if you recognize that, Stace, but I turned it into a little icon. You're pushing this raft, this hack and shift, makeshift lumber stuck together boat canoe kind of piece of junk through the swamps. The first hour or so into the swamps it's pretty quiet. There isn't much on the go. Not much is happening. Make me a perception check to notice this group of lizard men on this raft over here.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you come out sort of from behind this tree, and you notice across the swamp, not far away, and they have yet to notice you, is a group of lizard men are pushing this raft. And on the raft, there's a mishmash pile of humanoids stuck in the center. Now, I don't have anything to represent a multitude of humanoids, and they're not going to be actors anyway. As you're looking through the swamps, you sort of gain your focus through the haze, the mist that the swamps are always giving off. It's a nice sunny day. It's mid-afternoon. But the swamps always have sort of this gloom about them. The trees cover the top of the canopy, so you can see sunlight streaming in here and there. And it's warm, and there's a lot of rotting vegetation, so the swamps are always sort of foggy and misty. But something catches your gaze off to the left-hand side as you're pushing the boat, and maybe you jab the. I'm going to actually leaving it up to you. You spot this group of lizard men pushing this raft.
Yeah, we're going to let the other guys know. Hey guys, keep it down. We got a bogey coming up on the left, and he's going to try and drift the raft more and more into cover, kind of like under this foliage here,
Okay.
to see if we can kind of sneak up on them. Maybe something like that, if that works.
Sure.
What do you want, like a strength check for that?
Your choice. You tell me. Do you tell me what it is?
I think. Well, if he's gonna be rowing the raft or pushing the raft or guiding the raft, I'll do a strength check to see if that works. Goes in the direction he wants. That makes it a 10. What's the room number?
14.
Wow, that did not work in my favor. No, I want to stealth up on these guys. Here's my coin.
Okay. Oh, beautifully done. So a combined total of 19. All right, so you can describe how you successfully push this raft up underneath these trees to gain the advantage on these guys.
Just keep it nice and it just kind of coasts in there, just almost like unattentive, kind of like a driftwood log or something. Just kind of just glides itself in nice and slow. All the guys are all kind of calm and aware. So yeah, hopefully if all goes well, we haven't made any real noise or nothing, and these guys have no idea we're there.
You're doing fantastic. All right, so that's what's happening right now. We're going to go to Clunge. Clunge, the raft bumps up against this tree with the slightest of sounds, just this little, kind of like a little, as it hits the tree. Whatever Rufus is doing is holding this thing beautifully in place. These lizard men that you're staring at throughout the swamps are not aware of you whatsoever, and you're just kind of hanging out in the foliage under these long wispy trees in this murky swamp, fully covered, as this raft of lizard men sort of sails through like a little open passage in the weeds in front of you.
Yep. So, I think this might be a good time for Clunge. Since he works so well against the dragon, he's now going to show off to Moorcock and trying to use his vines to try and grab hold of these lizard men.
Nice.
Okay. Is that a spell or something? Oh, yeah, that's right. You have your grasping vines.
So we'll see what we can see. Boom.
5+.
And I think I'm going to spend one of my hero coins.
I'll take it off your character sheet.
Ooh.
And that's a +10, so that's going to be 15 for the success. So you are using a spell called Wild Growth. Overgrow a target with vines, immobilize it. All attempts by the target or close to the target are hard. Okay, so you've made your success. Describe what that looks like, and so I don't have to do it.
So these vines go shooting out from Clunge, and he just looks to Moorcock and says, "This is how we defeated the dragon. Now you're going to believe it." And these vines are out and envelop the lizard men.
Okay, so the lizard folk on the raft are in high alert now. They see these vines sprout up. They're looking at them like, you can see the confusion. They're looking around, but I'm going to say they haven't seen you yet because you're still sort of hidden in this little back area. The raft comes to a halt, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Roll me a D8.
Mm-hmm.
And that will be the number of lizard men that are actually encapsulated by the vines. Oh, all of them.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, well done. I was going to say that some of them maybe jump off, but the raft is securely held by vines, and all 8 of them are just sort of, these vines come up, grab them around the feet, and they're hacking away at these vines, trying to remove them so that they can become mobile again. As the panic goes up, you can see the confusion on this raft.
And Clunge just turns to Murdoch and gives him a little wink.
Brudnir, what are you doing? Hello, Charles. I have successfully called on you every time, and yet you still ignore me, my friend. What is going on today?
How do you like it?
Wow.
How many captives are there? I know they're not players.
There's a couple of dwarves. that look like they might be some kind of merchants, not warrior dwarves. There's a few what look to be farmers and stuff like that. So I'm going to say in total on this raft, there is going to be, I don't know, 5 or 6 maybe, including what appears to be two dwarves. Let's see. There's 2 dwarves, 2 humans, and a halfling. How's that sound? Small folk.
Sounds like the start of a joke here.
Yeah, and they're all tied up, bound in the center of this raft with these 8. Is there 8? Guess what? There is now. You can thank Pete for that. For rolling an 8. So yes, there's 5 humanoids in the center.
Okay, I guess I'll just take a bow shot at the nearest lizard folk, unless they have any distinguishing features which would make one seem to be the person in charge. Maybe an extra strap or a piece of flare.
All right, this guy's a little bit bigger, and he has some kind of ritualistic, shamanistic, I don't know what you call them, little trinkets on him that make him stand out as a spellcaster of sorts.
Take a ping at him. It's a 13, 14.
Okay, that is going to be a success.
Okay, I'll see. Try to confirm for the Ring of Slayers. Do ultimate. That is no. So I will do regular damage. That's fine. I still hit him.
Never fails.
Your tree's in my way. So that is 8 points of damage.
All right, fantastic. Describe your damage on this guy.
I hit him right in the fetish.
Right in the... okay, yeah, so the arrow hits him right in the fetish. He's got some kind of small creature of the swamp skull around a necklace with a feather on the side of it. Your arrow pierces through this tree, hits him right in this fetish, goes through it, splits it in 2, and sinks into his chest. You see a spurt of blood come out of his mouth. And he says something in Draconic that riles up the rest of the men, and he starts beating on a drum that he is carrying, like a small drum on the side that he starts paddling. As he's pounding it, these guys all draw their weapons and stuff, and they go from smashing the vines to looking in the direction that the arrow came from.
Okay, I will move to the edge of the raft away from where I was at.
Okay, you're going to move to the back of the raft and try and get some cover?
And play with Rufus, apparently.
I'm going to lock that raft right there. That puts us around to you, Murdoch. What are you doing at Mordick as
Well, since the attention of these lizard men just totally 100% focused on us in this raft, I think what I'm going to be doing is we're kind of hunched down because we're making this stealthy run. And since I seem to be the only giant hill folk in here after reading everybody's character sheet, I'm going to, in the back of the raft, I'm going to slowly lift up and raise and kind of show my size. And I'm going to scream a guttural, terrifying roar and cast Titan's something.
Battle cry? I see it, yep.
Cry, and I'm going to try to affect them for a -3 for all of their attacks.
Cool.
So I'm doing it as like a I want them to just be terrified of what they just stumbled on.
Fantastic. Make me a wisdom check. You got to beat a 14. Now,
all right. So
yeah, you're 14 with no negatives, so you just have to beat that.
Oh shit, that's not good. That's 3 plus 5.
Now,
so
here's where it gets a little stealthy. You can use your hero coin, but you're going to need to roll like an 11 on your hero coin. So you have a very small chance. Now you can attempt it if you like, or you can just.
Or can I cash in both hero coins and add 8?
We've been doing that. You can make 2 rolls and use both your hero coins if you want. Now I think the rules. Okay.
I think I will roll. I'll use both my hero coins.
Well, let's use one for starters, and if you roll an 11 or a 12, you succeed. So you're going to roll the 12-sided dice, not the 20.
Sorry.
That's okay.
No worries. That.
Yep, hero coin it is. So if this lands on an 11 or 12, that's a success. So we're going to add 4 points to your 3, which is a 7. Your second coin now needs to be at minimum of 7.
Yeah.
Oh,
There it is.
well done.
That's how we roll, right there.
Well done.
Well
Okay. So you successfully make your battle cry. You find some inner guttural strength. I'm going to let you describe what happens here. See what I mean?
I just raise up like a shadow, and just all these other guys on the raft, all small and everything, and I just raise up over them, showing my true size, and just scream. The birds fly out from this tree, and the leaves of the tree shake, and the whole swamp for 5 or 6 seconds just becomes dead. No sound, no anything.
Oh, fantastic. I'm going to do a little of this. There we go. I turn the sound off. The swamp goes silent. Every one of these mouse over the lizard men on the raft. You can see this is what I have to deal with, Stace. They start naming them. All of these guys are affected by your call. The vines pop out. All of them are grabbed by these vines. They're all stuck under this net of graspy, slimy foliage. Excuse me. And then you come out with this gigantic roar. The shaman, he's got this arrow in his chest. He's not even sure what's happening right now. But yeah, their morale is utterly busted. This is the beautiful part about using Tabletop Simulator as opposed to, say, a thing like Fantasy Grounds. This is how we're going to roll. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Every one of them is at a -3. I'm going to roll 7, 8. I believe that's 8 rolls. These guys all have some kind of thrown missile weapon. The only ones that are going to count... Oh, wait a second. That's going to stink. 19, 16, 14 at a -3. So, unfortunately, this thing put him in such a fashion. Okay, so Corey, you're going to take the 19 because that was the first one in the row. -3, which is a 16. Does that hit your armor class?
Does not.
Another arrow or rock or something along those lines comes in your direction, Clunge, but that's a 16 -3. Does a 13 beat your armor class?
It does not.
Okay, so because of the effect of your spell and these lizard men sort of just being freaked out by what's happened, they just randomly fire in towards this trees. Arrows, rocks, whatever it is that they have are hitting the branches around you. They're bouncing off the tree, and a pile of sort of rubble and arrows and bits of stuff from their slings and whatever it is they've cast lands at your feet, and nobody is actually struck by any of them. Wow, so you can thank Mordok for that one. That puts me, and that's it for my turn. Fantasy Grounds, I just attacked 8 guys with 8 dice rolls. In a matter of seconds, story continues. We go to Rufus. You're being pelted with rocks landing on this raft. They're hitting the branches of the trees. There's a bit of a shower as these guys all try and focus their forces on you. What are you doing?
Okay, I think we need to spring the trap. Well, not really trap, but just I'm gonna do another strength check to try and move the boat basically into basic contact with the other raft for boarding. Oh, that's a big no. Well, no, it's a 10, so no.
Okay, so you're trying to move the raft a little bit in their general direction.
So I think maybe instead of going in their direction, it kind of goes away, kind of like out here somewhere.
All right, we'll leave her right there. So yeah, you push.
It just made the group totally open now.
Yeah, a small current. A small current has pushed your raft in the opposite and sort of wrong direction, and you're struggling right now trying to move this thing. That puts us to Clunge. What are you doing, Clunge?
Clunge is going to have a go with his newly acquired rapid crossbow.
Excellent.
Nice.
You can explain how your rapid crossbow works so that we all know.
So it has a 10% chance of firing a second bolt when fired.
All right.
And so let's have a go at this. Boom, boom, boom. Ka-ching.
Plus your dexterity.
Which is 0.
Okay, so you fire off at this raft, and that's going to be a miss, but there is a 10% chance, right? So
That's just when you hit, so I didn't hit. So
okay. All right, so you're what happens with your crossbow then? It just flies off into the distance?
the crossbow doesn't, but the bolt does.
I don't know how you got to be such a cheeky monkey, but have a hero coin for making me look like a complete asshole. Thank you, sir. Brundeer.
I don't know how you fire crossbows in Canada, but over here in England, we tend to hold on to them.
Well played, sir. Brundeer, what are you doing? Charles, please don't ignore me anymore. I miss you. Come back to me.
All right, here we are. You can rotate. Okay, I will use the big guns in front as cover as I shoot at the shaman again.
All right.
Pow. That'll hit. I'll confirm for ultimate damage. With a 20, that confirms the fuck out of it.
Wow, nice.
That's a 50 damage.
What the hell? Holy shit. Explain how you kill this shaman.
He's beating that goddamn drum, so I shoot it into his drum and into his gut and out the other side. So it makes this nice boom sound as the drum goes off one last time, and I kill him and he dies.
All right.
Bye-bye,
Did he?
shaman.
He laid down? Good. I have a new thing with these guys where on the bottom side, when I'm going to start on some of the newer models that I've created, some of the newer minis, when I flip them over, instead of using the lay down like I did now, when I flip them over, I'm going to put bloodstains in the bottom of them. So it'll just show up as a bloodstain. Actually, you know what else I have here? Come to think of it, I do have a blood splatter, which I can just pull out here. And we can take Shamalama Ding Dong and replace him with a small bloodstain on the raft. There you go. Okay. That puts us around to Mordock. The shaman, gurgling, blood spewing, collapses onto the raft and slowly, like maybe falls into the murk. He's floating face down in a pile of scummy water.
Okay. Since I think what I would like to do is maybe get some assistance from one of my guardian familiars of the. So there's this Conjure Warden spell that says summon an elemental beast of earth and vine with 2 hearts and magical attacks. So what I would like to do is attempt to summon some kind of bear creature comprised of earth and root and flower, and just kind of summon him on this island. If I don't know what the distance of being able to summon this is, but I'll try to summon him on this island here. So he can, because I think it says magical attack. So I'm assuming that's a distance attack. So I want to summon him on this island to kind of draw fire from everybody else. So let me attempt that.
It's not distance.
Oh, is it not distance? Is it just
roll a D8 for damage instead of a D6?
Okay, no worries then. So then I'll probably summon him as close to the back of the raft as possible, and
Okay.
I just want him to start eating people as he's working up. So I'll have to probably roll to see if I can achieve this summoning. Is that correct?
What was the name of the spell? Summon.
It's down at the bottom. It's called Conjure Warden.
Conjure Warden. I see it. Okay.
Yeah, it should be the bottom, right top of the last one on the bottom, or the second to last.
Okay. Yeah,
So
I got
he should
you.
have 2 hearts and magical attacks.
Fantastic. 2 hearts means 20 hit points, and when he attacks, he uses magical effort to do his damage. You can summon him under your control. Have at her.
All right, let's see if I can make this happen. So this will be my wisdom plus or excuse me, this will be my roll plus the wisdom.
Yes.
So did that roll or no?
No.
Or let me try it from this direction.
Maybe it paused. There you go. 18.
18.
So that's a solid 24. Well done. You can take this bear that I've created right here, and you can drop him wherever you like him to be. Perfect. It's good enough. And he is going to start attacking. What's that, Brudnir?
Would have been cool if we had this big discussion about how it worked, and then he rolled and failed.
Well, I mean, that's fine, right? I would have just maybe sunk into the swamp as he was summoned and died. But yeah.
Okay, so on your next round, you can attack with him. He describe how he manifests. Set the scene for us.
I feel like he would just. I feel like I would push my hand into the water and grab some of the scum and vines into the water where I am and do a quick chant. And I would assume that there's some fog that's lifting behind him. These vines just start twirling around and slowly raising out of the water, just exposing his head. And as his head breaks the water and he starts coming up, he just does a terrifying roar to, scare the lizardman.
All right, fantastic. What I'm going to do is I'm going to roll this D8. This is going to, so 3 of them. The nearest 3 guys are going to focus their attention on your 2-heart bear. Boom, boom, boom. There's 3 attacks. One of them succeeds, and your bear is going to take a whopping 1 point of damage as the nearest guy is banging the the weeds and stuff off of his legs and shit. Doc, I'm going to say it is. He sees this bear come up out of the mud. He freaks out. He's like, ah! He tells the other guys. 3 of them turn their attention towards him. They all try and pelt him with a with their arrows or their spears. They're trying to stab him, but one of them manages to land his attack. But it is just
Nazi.
What's that?
Rules Nazi.
Rules Nazi.
Yeah, everything's under wild growth there, so all attempts are hard.
Oh, fucking fantastic, my friend. Again, I'm going to give you a hero coin for calling me out on that one, you son of a bitch, yeah. And so he
has a thing on it here, though. So.
No, I appreciate that. That is correct. Never mind your rules, Nazi. That is rules as we're going. So they all 3 of them make an attack on your little elemental bear thing, and not one finds purchase. However, that still leaves me with 5 of them, and because Charles is such a dink face and he killed the shaman, all 5 of them are going to focus their attention on Brudnir. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops, 6. Ignore the last one.
Goddamn Nazis.
Here we go, buddy. Natural 20 is going to be an automatic hit, and a 17 on a hard check is a 14. All the other ones miss?
Well, you said 5 attacked, right?
Yes.
6. The 20 doesn't count.
How dare you? The 20 is the only one that accounts. The rest miss. You're going to take weapon damage plus ultimate damage as one of these spears finds purchase. You take 9 points of damage as a spear. You can describe where it hits you. I'm going to say it hits you in the leg. Kablamo.
None of them hit me.
What do you mean?
I got a 15.
The natural 20 hits, sucker. Take it like
5 attacks there. It was the 6th one.
Take it like a champ. The 20 is the one that does the damage.
Both of harass goes off. I ignore 1 weapon attack around.
What happens?
Both of harass goes off that you gave me last
You
game.
Fucking.
I deflect 1 weapon attack in return.
Oh. Okay. So because you know what the cloak is and what it does, you know what? Me and you are going to have a talk, Mr. Charles. You seem to have an awful lot, now that I'm looking at your character sheet, you seem to have an awful lot of equipment. Like far more than the 10 and 10.
He's going to be counting your equipment in a minute. Be careful.
Right.
It's not
Okay.
Garage sale.
So the spear
Because-
comes flying at you, Charles. What would have been a devastating spear to the leg turns into what? What happens?
It's I don't even know because this is the first time this one's gone off. But the cloak actually just flares up and flicks it out of the way.
Wow.
Doctor
Nice.
Strange. So I don't even know what's at this point. Like Brunner's like, oh shit.
Okay, fantastic. And that I've moved my rotation value down to 2. I've attacked with all of my minions. You hear a giant huzzah as your cloak swipes the spear out of the way. Oh man, Gary be like. Sometimes I happen to glance over at the Discord chat, and yeah, that's exactly what Gary be like. Gary be like. I am going to turn the swamp noise back on because that is what's happening right now. You slowly hear the camber of the swamp pick up, the buzzes, the chirps, the frogs, and et cetera, et cetera. The humans that are on the raft tied up, they all give you a giant huzzah as the cloak just sort of bats the spear into the swamp. Once again, these lizard men are all like, man, they're getting frustrated. They are, they're not happy with what's going on. I got to check that grasping vine spell one more time. Grappling vine. When you move, no, it's not grappling vine. What is it called?
The
Wild growth. Wild growth, right?
Growth. It's like the 5th from the
growth,
bottom.
All attempts by or close to the target are hard. Okay, so I really should be putting a little bit more effort into them trying to get away, but right now they're just under a hail of bullets and fire and attacks from you guys. That puts me around to Rufus. You're still pushing the raft.
To try another strength check to meet the other raft and do a board. That's better. That's a 15.
Okay, so you can move the raft over towards the other place there because it's not locked. Set it up wherever you like it within guarding distance or sorry, jumping distance, I'm assuming.
Yeah, let's see if we can get how close I can
Okay.
get this thing in there.
That's
That's
good.
pretty good.
There we go. Locked her in place. Rafty McRaft face. You push it through the currents successfully towards this grappled area of these lizard men. Clunge. The two rafts
Yes.
clink together.
Mm-hmm.
And you do. What does Clunge do as the rafts come together?
Clunge is going to gracefully, or not, leap across to the other raft and try and smite one or two of these lizard folks.
Okay, I would like you to make me a dexterity check as you jump across.
It's hard too.
That is going to be an 11. So that is going to be a
So
duff.
It's enough. It's enough, did you say?
Yep, you did not succeed unless you have +3 or better. And there's vines and stuff here. So I think those
I will
vines.
spend a hero coin.
Oh, you really want to make this? I was hoping you'd end up in the drink.
Yes. No, I'm going to make this. Boo-boo. There we go.
That's better.
Okay, so
yes,
you go ahead.
leap across, and then with his spear, he's going to try and sort of stab a few of the lizard folks, or not, as the case may be.
Overgrow a target with vines, immobilize it. All attempts by or close to the target are hard. Okay, so anything that you guys do in
all
the
melees
confines.
are party.
Yeah, on this thing, that's right. Okay, we're on the same page here as far as the rules go. I got you. You leap across. I was hoping that you would maybe hit this bloodstain and just sort of slide, off some vines in this blood into the drink.
I think he did hit the blood, and he sort of slid across it like a skater.
Right, and then you end
You
up
should have parkoured off the dead body floating in the water.
you end up in front of Dopey right here, and then because you did so well on your initial leap over here, let's attack away.
Okay. No. Obviously, the dexterity and sort of agility is sort of put him off his stroke.
Fantastic. All right, so yeah, you just sort of make a wild attack in the air. Dopey dodges out of the way, and that puts us around to Brudnir. I have not once forgot you, Charles, today. I'm on a roll, buddy. I'm on a hot streak, my man.
Yeah, I'll give you a hero point for that one.
Oh, sweet. I'm going to take a hero coin then, and I'm going to use it against you next round.
Perfect. All right, I'm gonna shoot next guy in the line. Let's go. It's probably either Happy or Fruity.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh my God! You've turned my lizard men into the friggin' Snow White and the Seven Dwarves.
Oh, that was sweet. It was on a 3, then spun on the tree. Over my cheek.
Awesome. All right.
Confirm that for ultimate, which I don't, and so that is a 7 points of damage on the next one.
Okay, on Happy or Fruity, which one do you like?
I like Happy and Fruity, so
7.
I guess I'll take Fruity so I don't hit Mordok.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah, thank you.
Fruity it is. So Fruity takes 7 points of damage. Describe how you hit him and where and what happens to him.
Oh, Brudnir at this point doesn't really care about what happens to them. He cares about his style is shooting the arrow. So he kind of pops down on one knee and with one fluid action draws the arrow out of his quiver and just slings it back and shoots it and then looks over and winks at Mordok.
Nice. Mordok.
I don't know, it probably hit. I don't know.
Mordok, you see this bolt fly by. You see this lizard's jumping up and down. This arrow's maybe struck him in the leg, maybe in the arm at some point. Who knows? But he's got an arrow sticking out of him. He lets out like this lizard man hissy sort of howl. He points at Brudnir and his brethren. He says something in draconic. So I guess is the language that they speak in his lizard man tongue, and points it at Brudnir. Garnering the attention of all of the lizard men. But it is Mordok's turn to go. So that's what you see.
So I want to cast another spell, but my spell counter is down at 1. So do I need to do the spell and then we roll, or do I roll first to see if I can get it back up to 4?
So you go from 4 to 3 to 2 to 1 would be your 4 spell. Nope, you're good to go. You're going to make this spell, and then after you cast the spell, then you'll roll it.
Okay, so I know that Rufus has navigated this so he can jump over there and do kind of a manual attack. And since Clunge has already jumped over there, what I think I'll do is I will touch Rufus, but in a nice way. I will touch Rufus and make him invulnerable for 1d8 rounds. So I'm going to cast invulnerability on him where I anoint him with a touch.
Okay.
And you cannot be harmed for 1d8 rounds.
Wow.
Since he's getting ready to jump into the fray of these lizardmen, I want to give him as much positive energy as I can.
Wow, that's good stuff.
All right, so do I, because it's my ally, do I roll for success?
Yes. Yep. You have to roll and beat the scene number. All the time it's beat the target number for the scene. So you got to beat a 14.
All right, a 14. So here we go. Hopefully this will work. Oh, yeah, no problem. 18.
Nice.
And then it's a 1d8. So let me roll the d8 to find out how many rounds this bad boy will. Well, that sucks. But I would send a biddy and re-roll if you could, but I can't. So we got one of those to. So you got one round, I think, to just basically weigh in and waylay everybody and unleash hell on these lizard men.
All right, that is fucking fantastic. I did drop a D8, and I was going to set a rotation value on it, but I'll just leave it there. When this round passes, I'll just delete it.
Okay, so I'm going to decrement my my spell counter. So is it at this
Yep.
point?
Let's do that now.
Or okay, so how does this work again? I roll the d20 and it should be higher than the...
Yeah, beat the scene number.
Okay, that blows.
Okay, so roll a d4. See, now if you had a hero coin, this is where you could like summon your inner strength and use your hero coin. I wonder if Spellburn, yeah, you don't need to use that dice. You can roll your d4.
Okay, I got a 4 on the d4, which blows.
Wow, that's... Oh, I didn't see the roll.
3. I said 4, but it was really a 3.
It's a 3. Okay, so you can change this Spellburn that's right here on your character sheet. Every time a round comes by, you can knock this down. You don't have to do anything for it. It's just that now you can't cast a spell for 3 rounds. Set your dice to 4, your rotation value on your d4 to 4, and then that'll reset everything. In 3 rounds, you start casting again. You're good to go, and that's it.
Okay. I think. Do I get to go for my bear now?
Oh yes, you do. Yes. So your bear is going to be a strength attack. This thing doesn't say anything about any bonuses, so it's going to be just at a 0 for this elemental thing that you've summoned. But you're essentially just going to roll strength. What is it that your bear is going to do? He's going to do a claw bite attack.
He smells blood. Fruity just took an arrow to him, and he smells that blood. So he's going to get wild-eyed and just go to rip off his arm. I'm going to try to just leave that whole arm right off of Fruity.
Poor Fruity.
Let's see if he tastes. We'll see if he tastes like his namesake. So I roll and got.
It was almost an 18. Okay, so that is gonna. He makes his way onto the ship, kind of a thing. Let's shrink him down a little bit so that he's a little bit more manageable. He confronts Fruity with an attack. Rawr, he takes some swipes at him, rawr, and some bites, and Fruity manages to deep dodge and get out of the way, so to speak. Looking at the scene, I need to reduce my rotation value. I think I might have done it already. I'm not sure. I'm going to leave it at 2 because I don't remember if I did it. I think I did it, and then we went back to Mordok's wisdom thing to solve his spell casting. So I'll leave that at a 2. So looking at the scene we have here, I'm going to say Clunge is going to take probably 1 attack. These guys are grappled, so they can't really move. Clunge is going to take 1 attack, and the other 6 guys are going to attack this bear that has come onto this elemental beast that has stepped onto the boat. But you're gonna get the attack from Dopey. Yep. Okay, that's how we're gonna.
You're not attacking me with everyone this time.
Well, they've got bigger fish to fry, man. Bigger fish to fry. So this is going to be the attack on Clunge. Oh, it was a 1 and it rolled over to a 16. What is your armor class there, Buttercup?
Armor class 15.
Oh, that's going to be a duff because it's a hard attack. Yeah, so he lunges forward, a swipe with this skull-handled mace thing that he has. As you see it, sort of, he pulls it out of his belt. It is the skull of some swamp victim, attached with rope through the eye sockets and wrapped around this hardy piece of burnt wood. As soon as it comes out, you look at it and you realize that this is the skull. Or not this one in particular, but these items, these blunt objects, would be the objects that made the indents in the door to the inn. Not these ones in particular, but this style of weapon explains sort of the blunt, attack marks that you saw in the door. He swipes at you. You easily step out of the way as he's stuck in one spot. I do have a hero coin. And so actually, come to think of it, I'm going to attack Charles. One random lizard pulls out his spear and throws it at you. Yeah. For a 19, that's 16 on a hard attempt. Does that beat your armor class?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to take some spear damage from this guy. And I didn't even have to use my frickin' hero coin. And you take 6 points of damage. But let me guess.
My Duranium Signet goes off and it reduces the damage.
What about your stupid cloak? Does that come into play too?
I'm not going to use it this time. It's weird.
You're just not going to make a boat and just float you over there?
Wow. All right, so you take a whopping however much damage from this spear. Glancing blow. Not too shabby. That leaves me with 6 guys or 5 guys. 5 guys are going to attack. Hard attacks. Here we go. Let's see what kind of damage this bad boy takes. 17, 11, 13. So it's going to be 1 hit. 2 hits. The 17 and the 13 would be a 10. So he would have a base armor class of that because he's not really statted out as far as the spell goes. So your bear is going to take 9 points of damage as these things beat it with clubs and stab it with spears. But it is a 2-heart creature, so it is still over or under 50% of its health. Your bear's taking some solid beatings from these guys. I'm not worried about the rotation value. I got to remember to do that next time. And we go around to Rufus.
All right. So the mall cop is going to try to board.
All right. Make me a dex check to jump across there.
Yeah. What do you need, dex for that?
Yeah, just dex. I just want to see if you maybe fall prone or something like that. Maybe, you're not overly successful. You slip on some blood or vines. All right, so yeah,
you did every time.
All that does is essentially just lay you on the ground. You're gonna be prone as you come over, but still you can still make your attack.
All right. Well, he'll take a swing to the first guy in front of him. And let's see here.
I'm assuming that's going to be happy.
Yeah. Yep. That's a big duff.
All right, so yeah, you're just describe the scene. What happens?
So he jumps across, and then he lands in the blood, but he kind of slips. So he's kind of like he's trying to make his swinging attack. He's kind of like balancing on one foot at the same time, and the whole thing just throws his balance and weight right off.
Excellent. That puts us around to Clunge.
Okay, so Clunge will have a go at whoever's next to him.
Dopey?
His name now. Dopey. Dopey. That's going to be 17.
Excellent. You got wait a second. You're in the vine, so you got to roll hard. What was your roll?
13.
Yeah, 17 minus 3 is 14.
Yep.
Okay, that's a success. You're good to go. Roll some damage against old Dopey there, and then describe how much damage you do and what happens. Oh wow, Pete, come on.
So he stabs Dopey in the toe, and Dopey sort of like, ow.
It's the one word in Draconic that sort of translates across species, right?
Yeah. And you just see Dopey's toes like been sheared off, and it's like flapping around on the raft.
Brudnir, what are you doing?
Which one chucked that spear at me? I'm shooting him. I'm killing him. I'm using all my hero coins to do it.
Okay, so that's going to be Bashful in the back.
Shy guy, come here. That's a 20. Nothing.
Okay.
So let me confirm for ultimate.
Here is a hero token for your natural 20. Wow, you've got quite the collection of hero tokens going on there, mister.
I know.
Wow, you're rolling hot today, my man.
Mm.
So that is 9 plus 10. So plus 3 for the Berserk Ring, 13. Does that kill him?
Nope. He needs seven more, so he's 13 of 20. While you're doing that, I want to explain this rule to Stace. Stace, if you roll a natural 20 on anything that you do, you automatically get a roll ultimate effort as well. So if you're trying to attack somebody and you when you go to roll damage, like if you roll a natural 20 against somebody and then your deal is to maybe cast a spell or do a thing like that, because it's not really damage, it's just considered effort to encompass everything that you do with it. On a natural 20, you add an ultimate roll to the dice and add 12 to your roll. So that's why he added a mere 1 point from his shitty 12 because he sucks.
No, I added 4 with my Berserk Ring.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So that put him at 13. And you did, what are you doing? Ooh, we got a bit of lag going on here.
Let's see, we had. What was my D6 one?
Your D6 was a 6. Your
So
D12
6,
was a
8. Was a 4, so that was 12.
Yeah, I think you did 13 points of damage to him, and then
got
you
a
were
6, 1, and a 3.
a 6, 1, and a
The
3.
first 6 is a D20. So 6 and then 8, and then the ultimate was a 1 plus 3, so it's 4, so it's 12. Then I added another 3 plus 15. I need to roll another hero coin, so take 2 of my hero coins.
Okay, and you need to do a minimum 5 points of damage to kill this guy. You're really putting a lot of
That's an
effort into
8.
this thing. I'll take that hero coin.
You
So
take 2.
that, take 2. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, you really wanted this guy dead. So describe how that looks. You put quite a bit of effort into this.
When I got hit with the spear, what happened? Did it just stick in me?
Yeah, I guess a little bit. Yeah, sure thing.
Okay, instead of holding the bow, I use the spear, the end of the spear, to hold the bow while I grab an arrow with both hands and pull the bowstring back and shoot it back at him.
Nice. There is a blood stain where he was once stood here. Here stood bashful. He drops, falls to the ground, slides off into the drink, leaving a nice juicy blood stain. That puts me around to Mordock. Mordock.
Okay, so first I'm going to go ahead and decrement my spell. So now I only have 2.
Yep, cool.
And then, so Mordock's going to just drop from his hand his sling. He's going to load it with maybe a chunk of glass or something.
Excellent.
And I am going to start swinging it. And I want to try to sling my sling at Fruity.
Okay. Now this is going to be a dexterity roll because you're doing a melee rolls in D&D are generally strength, right? So you would add your strength modifier, but because this is a missile weapon, you are going to use your dexterity bonus, which is +1.
All right, sounds good.
Oh, that was almost
So
a 20.
9.
So that's
So
a
good.
combined total of a 9. So you're describe what happens with your shard of glass. That is a miss.
Yeah, I expect that I swing it around a couple of times. I release just a little too soon, and the pellet hits right in front of Fruity. But because the pellet was strangely shaped, it just bounced odd and skipped off into the water.
Yeah, it sails off into the swamp to be lost, to be forever lost. I moved my rotation value down to a 1. I'm coming back up here to assess the scene.
So quick question. So the thing that I set up for the one Rufus Surf Mall Cop. So does the round, I'm sure, will count down on my turn? So should that round counter have already gone off to 0? So now he's not protected?
So you cast it on him. Let's try and do the math on this. You cast it on him last round?
My last turn, I cast it on him. And it says roll for, he'll be immune for how many rounds?
Yeah, for
and
one
so
round.
Then I assume it would be, on my turn. So
yeah,
I don't know if there's one round left or if it's.
I'm thinking we should take that away. That would have expired. He would have been protected on his last turn.
That should be expired.
All right, I agree. Yeah, so I think he's, the glow that was surrounding him is now kind of dimmed, and he's just his standard old Rufus.
You've got Rufus laying on the ground, flailing with his slippery feet. Fruity and I can't quite get the other guy's name because you're sort of on him. What is his name? Happy. Fruity and Happy are going to attack you because you're standing right in front of them prone. The other two are going to Sneezy and Doc.
I forgot to attack my bear attack. My apologies.
Go ahead. Yep, you're absolutely right.
Sorry about that.
It's fine. Let's do her.
So he's just going to do a guttural roar, and he's going to go after Fruity.
Fruity's got a target on him today.
So he got a 10. So again, he missed.
Okay. Yep. Fruity manages to dodge out of the way. So back to me then. Fruity and Happy are going to attack Rufus, who is prone. Because you're prone, it's going to be an easy attack, but because they're still in their grappling vines phase, we're going to negate their
Cancel
modifiers.
that.
Clunge is going to be attacked by Dopey. Wistful and Doc are going to attack the elemental in Sneezy. Sneezy, you just killed Sneezy's best friend, Brudnir. Just so you know, Bashful and Sneezy were, maybe they were like lizard lovers, and he sees that you've slain his partner in crime, his lover. He lets out some kind of weird guttural roar, and I'm going to start with you. The ferocity with which this thing has targeted you, or is speaking in his draconic language, is a bit offsetting. I still have my hero token, by the way, mister. Heart attack, natural 20. He hits you with a spear for a combined total of 12 points of damage. You can defend and block and do that however you like. If you want to use your cape.
I definitely want to use a cloak on that one.
Okay. So I didn't need to use my hero coin. I'm going to set that off to the side. That spear flies in, and your cloak once again just sort of pops out in front of this spear, deflecting it. It harmlessly hits your cloak and falls to the ground. I think this cloak is pretty fucking badass, I gotta say. I'm almost thinking that the cloak should take the damage and should have so many hearts worth of damage before it dies. But that is for the next time somebody draws that card and gets that cloak. That said, you are fine. I'm going to take 2 regular attacks on Rufus. I get a 7 and a 13. Does a 13 hit your armor class?
Nope, they both fail, and because
Wow.
he's got the spike shield, they both incur 3 damage each.
Wow. Okay, so yeah, you're flopping around like a sloppy fish, a fish out of the swamp water. You draw your shield up just as these 2 creatures make attacks at you. You've got your barbed spikes. Maybe they smash into the foot or the toe. I'm having a hard time with Rufus, and I'm sure you're trying to get to Happy. Happy takes 3 points of damage as he attacks you, and your armor spikes sort of penetrate back into him. And then the last 2 attacks on the bear, they swing their clubs wildly, trying to smack this weird, crazy elemental beast down. Unfortunately, they're still grappled, which makes that hard checks for those puds, and neither of them hits that elemental creature that's been summoned from the murkiness of the swamp. Wow. That grappling vine's pretty tough. Rufus, I'm assuming you stand up.
Yeah, stands up. He's going to ignite the fire sword, the flame sword that he has.
Oh, shit.
And then just step into the first front guy and just start swinging.
Okay, you do that.
Or
and
fall into the drink just like that.
I will set you up. You go take out Happy with your flaming sword. Now, this sword,
hard roll.
This sword ignites. It's a flaming sword. Oh, shit.
That's a crit, bud.
Wow.
Sweet.
Fuck, and yeah. So that and that.
Here is a hero coin for your natural 20. So he takes a whopping
11 points total. 11 and
plus
3. No, because does it count? Magical, yeah. So actually, I needed to roll forget it. It's 11's fine.
Nope.
My mistake.
Flaming sword. Let's do it. Let's discuss and resolve this so that we're aware of how it happens next time.
Let me roll it again. Let me roll the 8 instead of the 6. Okay, so that's a 7, and then the ultimate was the 8, so a 15.
This flaming sword that you have, it says that it's magical.
So it says magical. I rolled weapon the last time. That's where the error was.
I gotcha. Okay, and it's going to add 1d4 burn damage for 1d4 rounds.
For 1d4 rounds for this many rounds.
Let me get you a
for
dice.
4 rounds.
Here you go. You can use that as your timer.
Yep, I got a timer on my desk here too.
Oh, okay, cool. Give me that back then. So the total damage was
15.
15 smoking points of damage, and this guy's lit on fire.
Yep, for 4 rounds.
Holy shazamski!
So each round is going to take an additional D4.
Yes, that is freaking crazy. I think I can do No, that's also not a very good campfire, is it? Here we go. I'm going to set this right on top of this guy. He's flaming out the side. I'm on fire! Happy is on fire. This is not going well for me right now. There we go. Let's lock that in place, and let's put Happy on fire. Kaboosh. I'm trying my best here. Get on there, Happy. Come on. You can do it, buddy. Yeah! Well done for me. Okay. Happy is now on fire. Look at that swamp glow. He's on fire. Okay, that puts us around to Clunge. You hear the sweet crackle of lizard skin and the scream of Happy. He's no longer happy. He's very, very sad. How much damage did Happy take? 15? He's at 18 of 20.
Smells like bacon as well.
A little bit, yeah. Wow.
So Clunge, after severing the toe from Dopey, he's going to try and sever the rest of him now. Or not, as the case may be. This spear.
Wow.
Oh,
Nice.
20.
Well done.
Fantastic. Here is a hero token for your natural 20. And then you can roll your weapon damage plus ultimate.
So that's 5 plus 1. Oh, you bastard. There we go. Oh, 15.
Wow.
Plus, hang on, I'm not finished yet. I've got some pluses to go on this. Plus, if you within a second, just talk amongst yourselves. So that's 17 in total.
Okay. And plus he had 1 already, so that puts him at 18 of 20. You have done almost 75% of this creature's entire damage in one foul swoop. I believe he's at 18 of 20. Go ahead and describe how that looks. That kind of devastating damage sometimes will, remove a limb. You know what I mean? Maybe his guts fall open. It's entirely up to you to describe what happens.
He looks like a colander, a sieve. He's got holes because they've got a spear. He's poking him. He's got holes all throughout his body now, sort of with blood sort of spurting out all these different holes.
He looks like a piece of Swiss cheese that's squirting red juice.
Yeah.
Nice. Poor Dopey. Okay, Brudnir, once again, I did not forget your turn. I'm so on a roll. What are you doing, bud?
Looks like is anyone in imminent danger from one of these people more than anyone else? I think everyone's up on their feet again, right? So
I don't think anyone's in real danger at the moment.
yeah, I'll just start pinging off. I'll just shoot someone who's near the prisoners. That always goes good, right?
Wild growth.
13, 14. So that'll hit. For 4.
Okay, 4 points of damage on.
Say fruity. I'd hit
4.
him before, right?
Yep. Okay, describe your damage. He's now at 14 of 20 hit points.
I look over and I have clear sight on this person because the other one next to him is really lit up and it's really giving a nice ambient light for everything. And so I'm able just to shoot directly into the center of his chest.
Nice. Okay, that puts us to Mordok. Sling in hand.
All right, so I'm going to just decrement my burn. So 1 more round left before I can get my magic back.
Okay.
And I will just go ahead and now I've got my bearings of where to hit Fruity. I'm going to use my right hand and swing the sling around. With my left hand, I'm going to basically just point right at Fruity as he's getting attacked everywhere. And I'll
swing away. So you're going to make a dex check plus 1. Beat a 14.
Hold on, I clicked the wrong button.
Oh,
I actually rolled a 12 by accident. Sorry.
Yeah, it shows up as orange.
I got 14 plus 1 of 15.
Yep, that's a success. Roll your damage against Fruity. Now you can use your hero coins if you have them to increase the damage that you do. You don't have any?
Yes.
Wow. You might want to befriend Brunner a little bit.
The damage is a D8, or is what is the damage on a sling?
All weapon damage is D6.
D6. Okay. Oh, that sucks.
Describe your measly 1 point of damage.
I think after I pointed to Fruity and I started, got the hum going, and I shot that slug, it just lodged Spike right into his neck, drew some blood, and then dropped to the.
Fantastic. All right, that puts it around to my turn now. My timer is on a 1.
No, I think Bear will go. The
bear,
yes. Yeah, I want the bear to just lunge at Fruity and kind of. He's just going to go right for his nards. Enough of this crap. He's going to try to boot, rip Fruity's.
Okay.
Traverse ball.
Okay, that sucks.
Your elemental thing here is not doing too much in the way of attacks. Okay, so he lashes out at Fruity. Fruity sidesteps. The nards are safe. Fruity will live to procreate another day, possibly. I've rolled my timer, which was at a 1. I re-rolled it. I got a 1 again. I'm going to give you guys a treat, because last time everybody was rolling pretty much 20s all the way around the table. You got a dude on fire. Things are going well. You're bolstered. You're like, yes, we're kicking ass and taking names. We're gonna save these humans from slave traffic or even from being dinner. You're all bolstered in some fashion. Things seem to be going well. Nobody's really taking a shit ton of damage, and things are looking good. So because of that, I'm going to say that you guys are all bolstered, and all of your next attempts will be easy.
Nice.
Now, back to the fight scene. We've got Fruity is just being pelted left, right, and center. So he's going to attack Rufus because he's just wailing wildly. That's going to put Sneezy and Dopey, or Sneezy and Doc, are going to attack the bear along with Wistful. Dopey is going to take out Clunge, and then that's going to be it. These guys, you can see that they're trying to pull their feet off of the bottom of this raft. They're smacking at vines with one hand. They're smashing and crashing with the other. You can tell that that they're trying to escape or flee, or at least get out of this scenario. They've had enough. But because the vines are holding them there, they're going to still put up a bit of a fight. So I'm going to do, did I say 3 attacks on the bear? Yes. 3 attacks on the bear. Here we go. 15 is going to be a 12 because it's a hard, and 16 is going to be a 13. So 2 attacks, all 3 attacks miss. These vines hold them in place. They're still sort of wrapping up around their arms occasionally. It's kind of like trying to fight like an octopus. These guys are just swinging wildly at this bear. That puts Fruity is going to try and take out Rufus with a 17. Does a 13 hit your armor class? Nope. And that puts me... 3. Who did I say was left? I've got 2 guys. No, 1 guy in the back. Dopey is attacking Clunge.
The attacker takes 3 from the spike shield.
Okay, so that is going to be Fruity. Let me scroll back in here. Fruity takes 3 points of damage. That puts him at 18 of 20. All right, so as he swings, you manage to get your shield up in the way. He drags his weapon arm across the spikes on the front of your armor, and you can just sort of see him lacerate his forearm a little bit as blood spurts out of there. Last but not least, we're going to attack Clunge, and we duff. Okay, Rufus. Roll your D4 magical damage on.
Roll my D4
on this poor bastard.
Roll the burn. Hold on a sec here. There we go.
Four points of damage.
4 points.
This poor Happy slumps down to the ground. You can see the fire that's sort of consuming him is inhaled into his lungs a little bit. His eyes bulge out of his head, and his scaly form drops to the ground. You've managed to decimate poor Happy, and the flames they end up going out as poor fucking Happy dies from the magical
Burning.
effects of your flaming sword.
Perfect. So now he's going to sidestep to the next one. He's going to take a swing at him with the flaming sword again.
Fruity's going to take some damage.
It's 11 plus my strength, so it should be a 14.
That's going to be enough to hit him.
Right?
Yep, roll for damage.
Perfect. Magic. Gotcha. Magic damage.
Okay.
So that's a 5.
Fruity is dead.
Going to be on fire for... Oh, forget it. I'd say he's on fire for 3 rounds, but he was dead, then forget it.
Yep. Fruity, he collapses. You can describe his demise.
Oh, he is right from crotch to throat. Just one big old swing, upward swing, and just splits him right in that center. You can actually see right through to what's in behind.
Oh man, these poor Sneezy, Doc, Wistful, and Dopey all let out these howls of sheer terror. You know, if they could slip away into the swamp, they would. But these grasping vines are just like, they're unbeatable for these dudes. That puts me around to... That's it for you, Rufus. You've managed to kill 2 of them in one foul swoop. Clunge?
Clunge. He's going to go for... Wistful? Is it Wistful?
Or Dopey?
Oh, Dopey's still there, isn't he? Dopey's still there. No, he'll try and finish Dopey off because he's feeling sorry for him now.
Even rolls too.
10 plus your strength.
And 14. That is.
That's enough. Roll for damage.
He needs 2. Oh, just.
All right.
Skewers him.
Excellent. Dopey, or whatever his name was, we don't remember now because I just deleted him. He falls to the raft in a lifeless heap, leaving only Wistful and Doc and Sneezy. They're the only ones left. That puts me around to Brudnir. 3 left. They're trying to escape. These guys want out of here. They've had enough. Their morale is sunk.
Let's see. I don't want to hit a doctor, so it's going to be probably Sneezy.
I don't want to hit a doctor.
Damn. There it is. That sweet, sweet miss.
I'd be careful because Sneezy might have COVID.
Yeah, that's why I'm keeping social distancing on the other raft.
Excellent. All right, so that's a complete duff. Your shot just sails off into the forest somewhere, or into the marsh, I should say. The humans that are in the middle, that are all strapped up, they're kicking and screaming and trying to get out. Their mouths are bound so they can't really speak. But one of them sort of scooches over and grabs like a dagger off of the slain lizard man, and you can see that he sort of scooches back. He grabs it with his hands and he's trying to cut himself free as you guys are blasting these dudes. But that puts me around to Mordock. You see this happening. This little guy, he's one of the dwarves is trying to cut himself loose in an attempt to cut himself loose.
So I think I want to yell. I want to yell to the party and to the dwarves, and I want to say, I'm going to yell, "Save one lizard man for interrogation," and then I'm going to point right at Sneezy.
Okay.
How about at Doc? I'll point right at Doc and I'll yell, "Save that guy for interrogation." And then, having said that, I'm going to spin my counter down. I can do a spell again. So I think what I want to do from a spell perspective, having said that, I want to cast Leaf Arrow, which lets me enchant. Well, I don't have an arrow, so that's not going to do me any good, am I?
Just rename it to whatever it is that you want it to be. I'm going to move this.
Leaf Sling Slug.
Okay.
It says enchant a single slug to do triple damage on impact.
Oh, wow.
Nice. Well done.
So I'm gonna try to let's see if I can get this over. Although my slug accuracy hasn't been so good. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go right for Sneezy. And as I'm whirling my sling around, I chant to my god, and you can see the sling just start glowing and have a real faint magical hum.
Okay, so this is going to be a 2-stroke deal. First off, roll your wisdom to see if you successfully cast your spell. Maybe the gods don't feel like granting you the ability to kill their.
Yeah, and I
Right?
guess they didn't. So
Right.
that's a 5 plus 4. Wait, what's the easy value? It's
So you got to beat
it's 11,
an
so I
11.
still missed.
Down to a
Okay.
14 altogether.
Wow. Okay. So your
Okay.
enchantment doesn't go off, but that's not to say that you still can't throw this sling and just give him a regular whack.
Let me just decrement my counter. Yeah, so then I'll cast for this. So D20 plus my 1 dexterity.
You betcha.
So that's
We'll still
which
say
is
that
good because we're in
Yep.
easy, right?
you are for this round. Yes.
Fantastic. And then that's a D6. Ooh, 6.
All right. So you've managed to max out your damage. 6 of 20 on Sneezy. That's the amount of that's a full hit from this thing. What happens to Sneezy when you plow him in the cranium or wherever it is you hit him?
I think just want to hit him square in the nose, and
Okay.
I want that nose to just spread out like a flat pancake, just blood and snot just squirting on every side of his
Yikes. Sneezy's
right in the snout.
not having any of it. Okay.
I think I'll have the bear do the same. I think from a magic perspective, bear is going to just jump up and grab it, Sneezy. Let's see if he's going to be successful. Let's see, 9, and that's it. So yeah, he pretty much blows. He's a good target he's a good target to draw people's attacks.
Yeah, he's drawing their ire. Okay, so that puts it around to my turn. I'm going to, because the rotation value is a 1, we are going to roll this a few times and get her spinning and see where she ends up. She ends up on a 3. I'm feeling quite generous, and because it is 10:30, we did start late, so this will put us at about 3 hours of gaming. I'm going to not call it here, but I'm going to call this battle. These lizard men drop their armor and weapons. They all basically surrender to whatever it is. You can tell that they've been defeated. Their party's mostly smashed and crashed and bashed. The dwarf has basically used the knife to untie himself, and he stands up with this dagger, and he throws it at Wistful. It hits Wistful right in the eye, and he drops. It's almost as if this thing hit him right in the brain. This merchant nailed the shot. Wistful dies. He uses one of the spearheads to release some of the other guys, and they've heard you guys basically say to save this guy, but as the rest of these humanoids become untied, they're seeking revenge for the death of their family, and a lot of them jump upon Sneezy and end up killing Sneezy, at which point they thank you for rescuing them. Now, one of them reaches his hands out to Rufus, being that you're a guard of, you're in your garb. He reaches his hands out and he's like, "Rolk is the name. I'd like to extend my gratitude for me and my companion here." And he points to his buddy and he just gives him some random name. And he's like, "We're a couple of traveling merchants. We were traveling along the road towards the Guzzling Gator Inn when we were jumped by these crazy lizard folk. They strapped us up and dragged us on here, where I see they have this halfling small folk, and these 2 humans that I'm not familiar with. We've been bound and unable to talk to them, so I sort of really have no idea who they are. But my name is Rolk, and I am a traveling merchant. I was taking my wagon full of wares to the town of New Haven. As I was about to stop at the Guzzling Gator, we were jumped by these guys, like I said, and left here. I appreciate that you have rescued us from these guys. What brings you to the swamp, traveling mercenaries?"
We're in search of the proprietors of the guzzling of the inn, And for their son survived the attack, and we're kind of in search of his parents, the proprietors. So, what was there? Sled Vodka was the one name, and what was the father's name? Fuck, I can't remember, guys.
I can't remember his name either, but Rolk's like, oh,
That guy.
such good news. Thank the gods that young Jimmy has survived. As for the rest of them, I am unaware of their fates, but this is what I can tell you, friends. I can tell you that there is 3 lizard folk. All of a sudden, he's impediment man. 3 lizard folk clans are having some sort of contest whereby the winner is the clan with the most captives. It has been going on since the drums began a 10-day ago and appears to end in a few nights. I'm not sure what the prize is or anything. He says, I'm not sure what the prize is for this contest. Or any of that stuff, but this seems to be what they were talking about. Being that we're merchants and humans, we're sort of like the top prize. Livestock, cows and cattle and such are apparently not that valued in this contest. It's quite strange because I believed that there was really only 1 lizard folk clan, not 3. But I can tell you that they were talking about the different clans, and so he sort of mentions them. There's 3 clans. This is not really relevant to the story in any way, but there's 3 clans. One of them is called the Rootwater clan, and the other one is called the Dusk clan, and then you have the Marsh. Those were the 3 clans, and he talks about them as being 3 groups of lizard men that are in a contest to gather the most valuable prize, or the most amount of captives for a thing, but they're not quite sure what the contest or who this is. But in a couple of nights, they're going to count up the humans, or let's say the prize, and whoever has the biggest pile is essentially the one that is going to win. Mm-hmm. He tells you too that although I am unaware of who is going to be or who is going to decide who wins this prize, he tells you that they were speaking of something powerful that attacked the lizard folk villages, and it killed a powerful lizard king called Scale Crusher. He also tells you, Roke says that the lizard folk constantly complain that they can't eat any of their victims until the contest is over. And lastly, the last bit of information I can impart to you is that the lizard folk have been pushing them steadily in the same direction for days. I assume that it leads to their ultimate destination, and I think that it translates to what they are calling the Lizard King in the island of the Lizard King in the Ring Current Islands. Now, I'm not sure where this is, but I can only assume that it is in this direction. And he points randomly into the swamp in the direction that you guys were already going. And he's like, I wish I could impart more. If you guys, he's like, unfortunately, we're just traveling merchants, and I cannot help you in your quest to.
If he speaks Draconic, because he's been overhearing this, maybe he can help us interrogate this list.
Okay. Yeah. Actually, he can actually do that. Actually, I said actually like 5 times now. What is it? Let's go. We're going to go around one time here. Rufus, let's start with you. What's your question?
Question is where's the encampment? Where are all the prisoners being held?
Okay. So he talks to this Doc Lizard Man, M.E. You guys are so fucked up. And this lizard man says that he points in the direction into the swamp. And he says, they're in this direction. There is a cluster of islands in the swamp that they call it's called the Ring Current Islands, because the way the swamp waters go in this area, they sort of go in a circle around this island. The current will make you drift around the island, and it's called the Ring Current. And he tells you it's a couple hours off in this direction is what Rolk tells you. That's what this lizard man said. A couple hours in this direction, you'll find the Ring Current Islands.
Yep.
Clunge?
What more does he know about Skull Crusher?
Skull Crusher was the Lizard King. This Rolk asks the question. The Lizard Man says that Skull Crusher was a great leader. He brought the tribes together, but during his demise, or once he was killed, the three have separated into their original groups. There is no king currently, so these three groups are now capturing humans to give to a I don't want to say sacrifice to, but whichever one of the groups of these three gets the most humans will be the leader of their group. Will be the new king of all of the lizard men. And then he's like, he keeps saying this word, but I don't know how to translate it. There is some kind of creature in the swamp that is going to come and count the heads and grant the tribe with the most successful hunt. He's going to grant their leader the ability to be the king of all the lizard men. But unfortunately, he's like, I don't know the word that he says big beast, giant lizard, big wings.
Is it breathe fire by chance?
So he asks it a few questions, and he says it does not breathe fire, but instead it's some kind of liquid that I'm assuming means melt or dissolve is the way that I think it. It basically it whatever comes out of its mouth makes things turn into liquefy or turn into liquid. He says.
Oh, sounds like my ex-wife.
Brudnir.
I'll go ahead and like on the raft, kind of with a piece of charcoal or something, sketch out like the dragon that we fought before.
Okay.
And like
yes.
verify, like, is this it?
Okay, so you draw like a crude dragon on this raft, and he points at it and says yes. The weird part about it is that he is making it out to sound like it's not. It's very big.
Yeah, I was going to ask how big was my next question.
Yes, very big.
Like, as big as that tree or bigger?
As big or bigger than the tree.
Yeah, put out a tree, like, which there's trees all around us. Is it big as one of these? Is bigger than one?
Yeah, he points at, let's say, this tree over in this general direction. The bigger of the trees over here. And he's like, it's that big.
Is it just one?
Yes.
Cool.
One massive dragon-like creature. That puts me around to Mordock. We're going to end with you. Ask this lizard man a question that you want to know. Rolk will translate, and then we're going to end it here with the death of poor Doc, who's outlived his usefulness.
So you said the death of Mordock?
Sorry, the death of Doc, the lizard.
It's a little like man, nothing like getting killed at the very end of the game. But so the lizard man has already been talking about that. There's three tribes: Muck Muck, Salt Marsh, and then you said another tribe.
Yes,
so,
Dusk Marsh.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. What were they?
Well, the names again are kind of irrelevant, but I believe they're Muck Marsh, Rootwater, and Dusk.
They're all blues guitarists.
Those are the three tribes, and each of them is on their own, gathering their own in a contest with one another.
So what I'd like to do, if possible, since I don't know much about the tribes, I want him to tell me something about it. I don't know if these tribes are friendly or how many are in each tribe. That's the kind of thing I'm looking for. How many lizard men will be at this place that we're heading?
Okay, so what he can impart, Rolk tells you after asking this question. He says that this lizard cannot tell you how many of each group will be there because sometimes the groups are off hunting. So it's kind of random. So a minimum of 10 per is what he tells you. He gives you like a 10 count and says that will be the bare minimum. So there's probably 30 lizard men minimum on this island, 10 of each group guarding their own captives so that the other lizard men don't steal them is what he's imparting.
So that kind of brings up another thing. if these lizard men aren't on friendly terms, are each of these? What is it about the? Is there anything that we can? I guess here's where I'm trying to get to, and I might tell everybody this. Let's find out what is it that each of these tribes hates about the other one, and maybe we can turn that to our advantage when we meet these tribes.
Okay, so Rolk will impart that question to this lizard man the best that he can. But what he tells you, the lizard man says, is that the lizard men don't hate each other. In fact, they're all going to be bound under one leader when this is all said and done, and they'll all go back to peace under the leadership of this gigantic, this essentially this dragon. The dragon, when he shows up, the tribe that has the most humans, the leader of that tribe will become the king of all of the lizard men and rule the swamps in peace as the leader of the lizard men under the leader or under the dragon. So he's like, essentially, the lizard men don't hate each other, but he's like, he gives you this one hint, is what he says, is like, he's like, because it's a contest and each one of these tribes wants their leader to be the one true king, kind of a thing, of all the swamp men, he says to you that he gets the feeling that if you were to attack one of the groups of lizard men, the others won't help because they're hoping that you'll decimate that group, which will just leave two groups for the dragon to choose the leader of. That's the wisdom that he imparts upon you.
Okay. I think we should let this guy go.
Okay.
I'm telling the group that. You guys want to let this guy go? Or do you want to? No, you're just going to slaughter him. Okay.
The humans that are here, they stand up and they're like, you can't let this fool, this thing go.
Yeah, okay.
He slaughtered my wife. And the other one's like, he killed my child. And, one of the little small folk guy stands up and he's like, he stomped on my house.
He stomped on my house. So I guess the only thing left to do is just hold him down while everybody gets to cut a part of this lizard man.
Get the free punches in.
Okay, and so that's where we end. We end this adventure with you guys, you guys holding the lizard man down while these humans, basically the humans and the half folk, just lay the boots. They shit stomp this guy. This is essentially what happens.
Did they play "Don't Stop Me Now" by Queen in the background as they're doing it?
Right, it's exactly what happens. The magic dissipates. The vines fall back into the swamp. The bear elemental disappears. You guys hop back onto your own little personal raft over here, and the merchant and his crew of motley humans that I do not have on here take this raft and they head back out of the swamp, back sort of to civilization, leaving you guys to proceed further into the swamp. Maybe I'll just leave those bloodstains there. And that's where we're going to conclude this adventure. Fantastic job, guys. That was a lot of fun. I had a good time.
Yeah, me too. That was good. Thank you.
All right. That's going to be it for this adventure. We're going to pick this up in 2 weeks. Stace, if you want to come back again in a couple of weeks and finish this adventure, that's perfectly fine. We are missing right now Daryl, who hasn't been a part of the last two adventures. And yeah, I guess I really don't have much to say other than I'll see you guys in a couple of weeks. Let's
right.
kill the
Awesome.
stream.
Thank you.
Is there coming?